In three, two, one. Hello, everybody. My name is Grant Ellis, and I'm here with the baddest man on the planet, Jim Davis.
Hey, how's it going?
How are
I
you?
am. I'm apparently bad, which
But that's
I don't know how I
good.
feel about it. That is good. So we'll see. I'm sure I'll process it here pretty soon. I'm doing real well though. I'm living,
You're living.
thinking. Yeah, and glad to be here for our Dark Eye finale. Chat it up.
Absolutely. And over the past 3 months, Jim has played the character of Gorion, sort of the Mad Mardigan esque sword master from what I'd refer to as the lands down south. Let's talk a little bit about that before we get into sort of the system retrospective.
Hmm.
You made some interesting character decisions. And when I say interesting, as I began prepping the Dark Eye, I started to learn more about the geography and the regionality of the game. Um, it's almost as if each region in the game is its own micro campaign setting.
Yeah, yeah.
What led you to make some of the decisions that you made when building Gorion? And then I want to talk about the system.
Ooh. So I was looking for somewhere that seemed like at a crossroads culturally, like just looking at the map and looking at names and everything. I was looking for something, some region to come from that there could be a lot of different ways to take a character concept. And I was already playing like a traditional chivalric knight in a Pendragon game.
Mhm.
So my usual picks of say what Andergast or Nostria or some of the sort of central mid realm kind of countries, I was out. I was like, no, thank you. I'm already doing that. And I landed on Pericum just because the name sounded vaguely Latin. I was like, okay, maybe this would be a good place to start. And reading about that and Arania, as there are these two countries that are next to each other, they border on each other. It seemed as though they had recently been liberated from some sort of oppressive occupying force. They had sort of a system of matriarchal government, which I thought was an interesting aspect of the setting I wanted to play with. Although it only ended up expressing itself in his name and sort of how he would address others. Um, and then the more I stuck around with it and learned sort of what lore I could from the region and the cities and who lives there and what their lives are like, the more I felt like I could actually embody a character in the setting. And it was very accessible. It wasn't like hidden behind a lot of purple prose or anything. It was clearly stated, and these are the influences, sort of real world influences that you might be inspired by.
Mhm.
And I really liked it. I liked being from having a character who was from somewhere that felt familiar, but also had a different twist to it than a traditional kind of like warrior from a Europeanish. It seemed
Medieval
as though they had
society.
recently been liberated from.
So, follow up question to this. Um, let's talk about now that we've sort of discussed the character and they're existing in a game system.
Mhm.
Let's talk about that mechanical expression of the player character through the character sheet itself.
Yeah.
So, how would you describe the impact that skill selection or advantages and disadvantages would have on Gorion?
So like immediately when I started making a character, um, I had the same kind of a moment of like, oh my god, I have to read all the options sort of feel to like point by systems where you sort of build a character through advantages and disadvantages and the like. But
Mhm.
I was able to sort of work through that initial like PTSD from GURPS kind of moment and come to sort of see how the advantages and disadvantages and abilities and the various different combat training techniques and skills you can take were really very tailored to this one setting. Right. This wasn't like a universal list of something that you then had to carve a game out of. It had already been curated. And thanks to the character creation software we were using, it was very easy to sort of figure out what I'm spending my points on, what value it has, being able to sort of jump around. And then, like, after the fact, going and looking up that information in the core book and it just being clearly laid out exactly where you thought it'd be, it felt very easy to embody my character as a mechanical entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the interface between my imagination and the game's system and the like, and that it was very satisfying in that sense. And there were enough points to play around with that I didn't feel like pigeonholed into doing like a hyper focused character, although I made sure I was as good at sword fighting as I could be. um but I also right.
You can
But
do
it
a
was,
stab.
or
You can do a swipe,
stab.
a slash.
But then I read about, I was reading a skill, self-control, and I was like, I I've never seen this kind of thing in a game before. And then I go read it. What does it do? And I'm like, okay, all right, this is, I'm I chose skills that I wanted to find my character in situations where those skills would be useful. And so, like, body control, self-control, willpower, carousing, those were all things that I hoped for. I was like, I hope I get to roll this. I hope that I get a chance to use this. Um, just because I loved the way that the lore of the world was kind of expressed through the skill system and then the various other, attributes that your character has.
And kind of this would segue into sort of the next aspect. So you have a concept and you're able to build it in a lot of the written material in the book might inform that as well as the original high concept. Then you're able to articulate it mechanically on the page. But in order to figure out what all those mechanics mean, you have to parse the game text. So let's talk a little bit about the organization and structure of the book. How did you find reading the books to learn the game? How was that experience for you?
I think that the Dark Eye has a lot to teach the other RPG rule books in terms of rules presentation, layout, and just guiding a player through the experience. I found that it was superb in terms of how the rules were presented, the examples given, just the use of fonts and offsets and boxed text and different visual representation to make it interesting to read on the page. Your eyes just don't glaze over because it's a
Mm-hmm.
solid 2-column small text. And either rules references or page references made it easy, of course, to move around the book. But overall, I found that it wasn't dense. It wasn't incomprehensible. It's really just read, the first 30 pages and you're good to go. But even those 30 pages or so, it was easy to distill the essence of what they're trying to teach into just a quick cheat sheet or something, so that I didn't feel the need to go back and reread it a bunch of times to get it. Like, the minute we started playing, what I'd read in the rules was like, I immediately got it. And there was a lot less like, how does this work again? What are we doing? And so in that sense, I love reading the Dark Eye rule books. Now, I have the PDF. I don't have the physical rule book. So some of that might be informed by bookmarks and the like. But I can imagine that it's easy with a physical book as it is with a PDF once you get to know it.
I will say it is. I only use the physical books. I think if I reach down into my bag of tricks, right here at all times, I've got my Das Saga 5th edition. Put that on my brand new side table. I'm actually building a Vorpal board station next to here, so the next time we play, we can bust out the toys. Hashtag not sponsored by Vorpal, but Thad, if you're out there, we love you. While we're in that, you'll notice throughout this broadcast, for those of you watching on Facebook for the first time and those of you watching on YouTube, this is a sponsored stream. It's sponsored by Ulysses Spiela, and we appreciate all their support they've given us throughout this. Also, it is provided by the sacred funds that have been donated to the Patreon, WebDM Plays, and so do support the Patreon. Every dollar goes to help our players and our production staff. And coming back to sort of the mechanics, though, now that I've gotten the plugs out of the way. So I even think, and we were talking about with Liam about the mechanic and the extra step of getting success rolling through 3 dice. I think the game does some interesting things codified in the rules, not even necessarily left to homebrew, where they do give you the option for skills you use often, reducing it to a single die, or even just processing it. If you know your numbers, like I rolled 2, 17, and 4. My 17 probably is a fail. I'm going to spend 6 points to reduce it. And then I probably have like 9 points. I'd have 3 left. I'd be able to determine my QL. I think it's just getting the rhythm of doing that kind of math.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the fact that it's roll under helps immensely. You're not having to add an extra step. There's no modifiers to the roll. You look at what the die rolled. You're looking at that number. You're comparing it to another number that you have. And I mean, it's not like there is an extra step, right? But it is not as time consuming as, at least for me, when I first read the rules. I was like, man, 3 dice and I got to compare and then subtract from a pool.
There's another
and then there's a third
chart
step for that. Right. But by the second session, which in the way we were recording sessions would have been about 4 hours into a gameplay, experience, it was nothing. It was really, a couple of seconds to get it. And I really think it's because of the roll under, because all you really have to do, the minute you see a number that doesn't match the one that you're comparing it to, you can start subtracting from your pool and sort of are able to process this mechanic very easily. And that's when it unlocks this complexity that I think really serves the game well, in that each of these numbers that you're rolling, each of these D20s, is tied to a particular attribute. So I always ended up rolling a sagacity skill, even though it was my lowest attribute. But you might have something that's sagacity, intuition. That's how the perception skill works. So if you fail at one of those rolls, then okay, it was your intuition that failed you this time. It's not that you weren't able to process something or that you didn't notice a thing, but it's like there was some part about it that you didn't understand the significance of. Or my favorite willpower is courage,
Yeah.
which is a stat, right? And so the dice literally tell you a story. If you fail, what part of this skill did you fail specifically? And then they tell a second story by the quality level that you get. Right. So it's this simple, just roll 3 dice mechanic that has so much to offer action resolution. And it has so much to offer in terms of like where your game goes, in terms of whatever narrative you're crafting. And like, it's kind of hard to compare it to a binary resolution system, because it has this built-in trauma,
Yeah. And I think it's even interesting on success. When you succeed, there's this exponential levels of success, the quality of the success, the difference between barely getting by and maybe making miraculous uncoveries. That's something as I facilitated the game, I believe I did 4 sessions, and each time I tried to add a different piece of complexity to the game, as well as learn more about each of the systems. And one of them is like Sharong even called out. He goes, well, no, I played with Grant that one time. He was like, casting a spell might take more than 1 round. And that time I was like, I really want to get spell casting down because I'm afraid of it.
Yeah.
And then there was one of them I wanted to really make sure that I could manage quality levels and make sure that I understand and can better articulate between quality levels. And to help with that, I ran a pre-published adventure. So let's talk about some of the additional resolution mechanics and the way it ties into it. If you were to break down 3 points of the resolution that you find interesting, what would those 3 points be?
In terms of like the various steps, or just like thinking about the game as a whole?
Yeah, steps or the game as a whole. It could be either or. Because, like, I'll give
Yeah.
an example from me. Like, for me, the idea of a confirmation roll on criticals and botches is interesting, but there's also a reason why I took the optional route to not use confirmation rolls, just because I was
Oh yeah.
like, I want to simplify it for me.
Yeah. I feel the same. I in that sense, I like, in that specific instance, I really like the sweeness of a D20. I like that it occasionally just goes nuts 5% of the time and something great
Hmm.
happens. I get why you would roll confirmation for them just to kind of keep it more even keel. Um, but I think one of the things that really struck me about the system that as we played it was that you can have this like mechanical detail and rigor that you can apply to your games, like the fact that spell casting takes multiple actions, which for a lot of tabletop fantasy RPGs is not the case. And yet we can play it the way we did, which is more fast and loose, cinematic with the rules, and the game doesn't break apart.
Hmm.
I really appreciated that you could play it in different modes of adherence to the rules, and it still plays. It still feels like its own game, right? Um, I think when I'm thinking about just the rules as a whole and the various systems in it, I was most impressed by the disadvantages. Like
Hmm.
normally when I'm making a character, I feel like I'm picking disadvantages purely from a metagame level, right? Which ones am I going to be able to tolerate for my character to get the maximum amount of points kind of approach? But that there were enough disadvantages there that I was like, that I think that would just be interesting. All of the afraid ofs, the bad habits, the negative personality traits. Like, it's interesting that Garion's a smoker, sleeps late, messy eater, is
Hmm.
vain, night blindness, and is afraid of enclosed spaces. Like to me, that makes them more of a person, more of a being that feels real and I could get immersed in than just like, oh, I took these random disadvantages because like they got me the most points. And I don't know what it is. It just clicked for me when I was making a character. Um, I would say the other thing that I really enjoyed, and I don't think that I got to really sink my teeth into the way that I would have liked, is the combat system in all of its complexity
Hmm.
with pain levels and encumbrance. Like once I started tracking my conditions and states, like just to be like, what what do levels of visibility actually mean for me with night blindness? What does it mean to have a fear? Like you start looking at it, it's like, man, you could really rack these up. Like, I could ignore my highest level of pain, but I can see how you would get to a point in a particular combat where you're not out of hit points or life points, but you're done. You're not going to go on, right? And so I'm
Hmm.
curious how that plays out over a long campaign. I think it could be very interesting and yield some results to combat that are more complex than just like fighting the other people to the death. And you know, every fight is like that.
Sort of. There's a lot of interesting components, and something I found when running it. Both, I'd be interested in a longer form campaign, but also, what do you feel based on your instincts? The length of time to sit at a table and play the Dark Eye. What would your range be?
And get like a full experience in like a full satisfying.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Sort of tying into that, because like for me, it felt like 2 hours was maybe 30 minutes to 40 minutes too short.
Yeah,
I'd
I
like
think
another
so.
hour.
About another hour. I think by 3 hours you get a lot. I don't. There's nothing about the rule system that seems to bog down play that much. I could see if you had like a big complicated fight with a lot of moving parts, but then like so does every RPG. That's going to
Yeah.
bog down just about all of them. Um, and so I think by 3 hours you can cover a lot of ground because it's scenes can resolve themselves fairly easily and in non-binary outcomes. And it seems like the quicker pace that you play, or at the very least letting players sort of choose their own pace, would give a party that has a lot of disparate characters in it, right? Like brief tangent, but one of the things that I find when I'm GM for point-based systems is that there are some players who have made a character that is not compatible with the game we're playing or the party that they're running in. But I that's not necessarily like a problem if you're able to get through scenes quickly so that the person that doesn't, they're kind of the odd one out, can still have something, can still have a scene that connects to the larger game, can still have a moment where they're able to pitch in and help and feel like they're a part of the effort, part of the team. um, I think that it's going to give you that within that 3 hours, and it's going to resolve it smoothly and quickly. um, and then it has a lot of sweet complexity you can fall back on if you want it.
Yeah, yeah. It's um, that's sort of I would have liked to have embraced more of the complexity because it feels like after and full disclosure, and everyone who had watched on the streams, we talk about it. It's like the last adventure I ran, I had 30 minutes to prep, and we talked about how do you prep an adventure in 30 minutes with a system you're less than familiar with. And part of that was using quick start rules and simplifying. But I started to dig into like the combat abilities, like
Mm-hmm.
adding crushing blow or something like that. It's like I can add additional damage, and there's triggers here, and there's ways to make this more interesting and more dramatic using what's written on my sheet.
Yeah.
What would you say though over the course of, and this is more, we'll break it down into three categories: rules, crunch, and fluff, and how it relates to the specific campaign. What was a moment during the campaign where a rule came into play and it was either a light bulb or a deeply satisfying moment because you engaged the rules of the system at the table?
Yeah. I mean, I think sort of the first time we're really figuring out how skills work and how focused our characters are on the skills that we focus them on, and then what that means. So maybe like Ortlieb's just like rocking a singing check, and now then we discover how like beautiful Ortlieb is, his songs are, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely one moment, just to be able to like see what it is for a mechanically focused character to do. And Emma made a character that was really just, I like these collections of skills, and then challenged herself to play it in a way that could keep up with a bloodthirsty, Iranian swordsman. So that was one of the moments. And then another one occurred sort of late in the game for me, where we'd just gone into the catacombs, and I realized like, oh, I've got some stuff here that I think is relevant. Like I specifically chose disadvantages that would make him terrible at dungeon crawling. And it was like, everything I roll is at a -5, and just to be able to like calculate that it was like, took no time at all. It took maybe 2 or 3 minutes while something else was going on at the table to like factor all this in. And thinking of other really crunchy systems that I've played that have a lot of mechanical complexity and rely heavily on their mechanics to help convey a game and fictional world, it was just like smooth. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm suffering from this level of fear, these 2 levels of visibility reduction, I'm encumbered, I'm ready. Like I don't need to play catch up or anything with what's going on at the table. So those stand out as two of them for me in terms of the crunch.
All right. And then fluff moments where you are engaging with sort of either the richness of the campaign. No, let's do that. The published works of the campaign setting manifesting through play.
Yeah,
Highlights of fluff.
highlights of that. So I think my first one came when I was reading up on Havina, like in the almanac, and to see sort of how we encountered the city through play of it being, it seemed to me have a very like Amsterdamish feel of like, it's sort of boggy and swampy, and the undercity is flooded, but it's like also this mercantile hub sort of. And then also to read about it in the in the almanac and go, okay, well, they don't like mages here, but our mage is pretty open. Our black mage, no less, is pretty open about using their magic. And so even though it didn't really come up in the game, I don't think it was central to the conflict or anything like that we were doing. It was interesting to me because it helped me like fill in the gaps of what was going on. Like if Tariq was casting a spell, I can imagine that passersby are probably a little freaked out or don't want to be around, that we're in the catacombs, that this is a place that is known for having these haunted catacombs. And so it made it really pop out and stand out to me. And then what really brought it up to another level was when we started meeting some of the in-world personalities, the Maharandi and some of the other Iranian nobility that I had already read about, I guess, in a prior editions or prior versions of the game setting book. And just sort of getting to be like, oh, that's those people. Like, I have an idea of who they are. And it's not just nameless queen, whoever. And I don't quite know what it is yet. Can't quite put my finger on it, but it was much more accessible than other like setting heavy settings, lore heavy settings that I've played in.
Easier to play hide and seek in the setting and to interact and engage with the iconics of it. Well, Jim, I thank you for coming on the pre-show. Now, Jim and I will be back on the post-show chat. We will be here talking about the Dark Eye and WebDM plays. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to our sponsor. Our sponsor is the wonderful Ulysses Spieler. Let me pull up that link and drop it in the chat for you all. Get the Restream bot. Go ahead and send that out there so folks can see all these great games. We ran this season Torg Eternity, The Dark Eye, and we are planning for Fading Suns when it launches. May have a couple Torg Eternity one-shots. We should get you in on that, Jim, so you can experience Torg.
Pearl was telling me about it, and I was there when there was mention of cards. Like, I'm sold. Are there cards as well? I'm there.
And you play a different card every round of initiative that flips combat weird.
Oh, yeah, I'm there. I'm there for it.
Cards are playing like they were about to get in a fight, and Pruitt drops a romance card on the enemy, and like was like, "We're in love now, fools!" And like,
oh god,
it was great. So do check out that link. And again, I'm also going to drop a link to our Patreon. WebDM plays. Every cent goes to help the cast and crew keep these productions alive and well and going. So. Jim, I'll see you on the other side, and we will be back in action at the end of the episode. So hope you all enjoy it. Catch you later, and we're going to get ready to fire up the next episode. So stand by. And I'm still here. You'll hear my voice, but I need to make sure that I get that episode up. So I am quickly navigating to it. In my Dark Eye folder. Hope you enjoyed the pre-show with Jim. Jim, obviously, good friend, good game master, good advice here on WebDM. And we will mute out over here, and you'll see the game in just a few minutes.
everybody, and welcome back to WebDM Plays The Dark Eye Adventures in Aventuria. It's our finale today. I am a little sad that this is going to be the end of our story today, but I'm very excited to see what is on store for our assembled heroes. But what we'll do like we usually do for one last time, just go around, say hello, and say who we play before they all die horribly in the maw of an ancient snake creature. So Liam, hi friend, how you doing? How's it going?
Yeah, that's about it. I'm good. I'm all right. That's it. Yep, good. Hyped to see what happens. A bit sad to know this is the last one, but it's all good. It's all good. We'll see how it goes.
Well, all good stories must come to an end, but moving on down to Sharang. Oh no, wait, hang on. My order's all mixed up. Emma, it's you. Hello, Emma.
It's me. Hello. It's me. I'm happy to be here. I'm going to try to get this out of my system now. I'm playing Ortlieb, and I'm excited to kill a snake god or be killed by a snake god. Either way, I'm really happy with however it's going to turn out.
And I'm happy you are here. Someone else who I'm extremely happy to be here is Sharang. Hello, friend.
Woot. I'm excited for our series finale. I was recently thinking about, because I'm a game professional, I'm like, what are games doing in our world? Like, are we looking at political situation? Are we making the place better? And first off, we're making social bonds with each other, which is yay important, and also not specific to us, but it's important that people don't feel isolated and feel the need to radicalize, right? So yay, games do that. But also, I just got my course reviews from undergrads, and one of them was like, I learned a lot about marginalization in America, even outside the games industry, and I appreciated that Professor Biswas's readings touched on that. So I'm like, yay, I'm making a difference in shaping minds, and hopefully through games, I'll make a small difference in making people not Nazis. So yeah.
That's kick-ass, and I'm so pumped to hear that.
It was very nice.
And last and certainly not least is the wonderful Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hi, how's it going? I real quick, I saw your tweet about that, Sharang, and I thought that was really cool. That's very awesome. Yeah, it's really great. Yeah. I'm doing good, surviving, having a good time. I'm currently on a string of character deaths, so I want to see if I can keep it up. I've had many of my favorite characters recently kick the bucket, and let's see if I can keep that streak going. I'm excited to deal with the giant snake maws and the like, and glad to escape for a while into a fantasy world, if only for a moment.
Well, let's see if we can kill Gorion today. But as for me, I am Susie. I will be your GM today. I'm not going to do the air hostess joke. I've done it too many times. But just know mentally, I thought about it for a minute. But so as a brief reminder of where we were the last time we met our heroes, they had descended into the sewers / ruins beneath the city of Havana, knowing that this way lay the path to getting to the great book of knowledge that had been gathered by the creepy cult of Not Hasinde. Descending into here, the group found what appeared to be a smuggler's cache and were promptly attacked by a specter. The specter, through the course of the fight, was revealed to have been a smuggler that had been brought down here and killed by the cult members as a way to protect their network of tunnels. They, too, and Gorion gave the ghost a good fight, and with the cooperation of Tariq and Ortlieb, finally managed to put the poor soul to rest. It was at this point where, from this point, you could delve further into the dungeon. The dust had settled from the fight dungeon, and what lay in front of you, you did not know. but one thing for certain that you did know is that something was indeed down here, as where we're picking up right now, there is another shudder, much like the one you felt above the ground, like a small, low-intensity earthquake, something large moving lower and deep beneath you. And you can hear almost echoing a very low, bassy hiss, almost.
Uh-oh. And we've seen the eye once, and that was scary enough, right? So.
Mhm.
Oh, and isn't Jim's character super claustrophobic and
Oh,
stuff like that?
yeah, he's got
Night blind.
let's see, he's got a level of fear. I forget what that's from. I think that's being an undergrad. He's claustrophobic because so am I. It's easy to role play. And then I'm also encumbered, and I have a terrible night blindness. So I'm
Oh, right, you can't
Yeah.
see much.
can't see very well. Yeah, his
Perfect.
so. For those of you keeping track at home, that is a -4 to all of his skill rolls, a -2 to his attack rolls, a -2 to his defense rolls. Sorry, that's -3 to all his combat stats, not -2. And if he was into rage combat, that would be a further -5, but he's not.
Lovely. I mean, I only have 13 arcane points left, which is like one spell. So, like, yeah, not
Good
we're not-
news. So the good news is I have 2 fate points to remove all of that and go as normal. So he's not having a good time getting there.
Do you guys know if there's a way to trade in fate points for arcane points? Because I wouldn't mind some.
Oh sure, yeah, no. Oh, never mind. It's like,
But yeah, the world is dark and full of terrors right now.
Mhm.
certainly.
Is our
Sure is.
is our princess friend with us?
Yes, because if you remember at the end of the last session, I went, oh shit, yeah, Fariha is supposed to be with you. So she has wandered in after the fight, being like, oh, sup, guys? Oh, there
Sup?
was a ghost here? Oh,
Perfect.
It's top tier GMing right there.
Rolling with the punches, Susie.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah. Lol. Yeah, so we just burnt the body, and then some of you did like the like a releasing prayer or something, right?
I said a prayer.
Yes, Ortlieb said the prayer. And I remember we flung spices into the burning body. I specifically remember that. Like,
Yep.
sent to the funeral pyre.
And I had also used my inspiring leadership to try to help Gorion have a bit less of a bad time,
Right.
at least with claustrophobia.
Yes.
That's right. And just as a reminder, because it has been a little while since we have played, you do have a number of potions on you. One you have identified as an antidote. I think you found 2 healing potions. And one is a mystery. You're not quite sure what it does.
I have 1 healing potion and a mystery pearlescent potion. That I don't think I managed to figure out. I tried doing a skill check. I didn't manage to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
And my detect magic Odom spell only tells me if there is magic and not what it does. So.
Okay, so upon feeling this tremor and hearing this sort of strange hissing sound, what would you all like to do?
I look wildly around and I'm like, oh, because we've read now at this point about the snake god person, right? So I'm like, oh no, it's what if it's moving? We have to get to it. I'm getting nervous and scared because remember I saw the memories of the ghost, so I'm feeling angry and disgusted and frightened by this cult. So I'm like, we need to get to it before it gets free completely.
Yeah, let's get after it.
Okay. So you begin to descend further into the sewers. Let's have a little skill check. What do we got? Let's do, because I will say, it's clear that cult members have been here. So if you want to find out where they've gone, I would like tracking, a tracking check from whoever would like to do it.
Not me. Ortlieb has no facility with that
Oh
whatsoever.
God, absolutely not. I just saw a 0.
Oof.
I got 2 quality levels.
2 quality
Ooh.
levels. Okay,
Ooh.
so 2, as you're sort of looking around, you've put together, they've been here, they must have left some sort of mark somewhere to show where they've gone. Like you've been here before, you kind of know your way back to where the church was, but there's got to be something else, especially if the sound is coming from lower, and you're looking around for any, giveaway signs.
Mhm.
And you can see in the sort of like strange mossy mulch that is kind of embedded in the sides of these walls that sort of reaches out a little bit like a horrible mossy mulch beach against the walls. You can see there is a footprint that is leading off in a sort of rightwards direction. You're at a sort of strange fork sort of pass at this point, and you can see it heading off down this right tunnel.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'd point that out to the others and lead them that way. I do have a question though. Just because if I have advantages, I'll whip that horse to death. With direction sense, do I know roughly, like, is this leading towards a certain part of town, like corresponds up above us? Like, are we going somewhere maybe like underneath where all the stuff's happening, like the big, the carnival thing? Yeah.
So as you're sort of trying to orient yourself, you can figure out this left passage is going to lead you back into town towards the the cathedral district, or what it was, the temple district. This right path is leading you more towards the outskirts of the town, towards where you say the tourney grounds are set up.
Yeah, well, 2 would sort of, I guess he'd mull over that and just head off into the dark. He's not afraid of the dark. He ain't no Gorion. He's just off.
And we just beat a ghost, right? So maybe your superstition sense is also kind of like
I'm imagining 2's actually gotten quite quiet. Like he's gotten quite sort of, he's gonna go fight a fucking tunny fire. This is a big deal. This is like make or break mana shit. So he's like, I mean, even if he dies, he's done the right thing in his mind. So he's just preparing himself for being the OG badass. His only concern really is keeping one of you guys alive so that you can go tell people. So that's ultimately what it comes down to.
I turned to the princess and I'm like, do you know anything of what we're gonna face? All we know is what we've read about this like snake thing.
My best guess will be senior members, perhaps, of the cult, as it were. Perhaps some of their guards. I expect to find Zimatara down there. If anyone's got it, one of those people have it. And well, from the sound of whatever, and you can tell like her voice is quavering. Like there's a little quiver in her voice there. Whatever that was, it's probably going to be there too.
And I like nod. I'm like, oh my God. And I think of my blacksmith who I gave my like tearful, not tearful, but like my sad goodbye to. And I'm like, oh, okay.
And she can see that you're you've got that little sad, the little pouty lip is out, the little worried, sad face. And she puts a hand on your shoulder and gives it that reassuring squeeze. Okay. And pats. She says, "We'll be all right."
And I'm like, yeah. Because remember, I'm 19, right? So I'm like young, and I'm thinking in my head like, what if I never recover the memories of my mom that the professors told me they'd like get me when I graduate? Okay. So
Can Ortlieb attempt to give some sort of inspiring speech? I'm not sure.
Hell yes.
Yes. You do it in song form?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because that was our first session, right? You did this amazing song, so capstone that, bookend it. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, historically and in fiction, songs are very important. So let's hear it for Ortlieb.
Yeah. So I think Ortlieb is going to sing a song that is kind of like, do you hear the people sing, only less patriotic and more snake.
Hell
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hear the snake hiss.
Yes, about how we are going to vanquish the snake and everybody's going to remember us and we are going to move on from this. And I will reference all of our prior trials and travails. I cooked dinner for a dragon. I'm not going to let a snake get me, sort of thing.
Yeah. We uncovered that cult.
I just want to state for the record here, for anyone who's familiar with any tabletop RPG stream that I have been in, I was not responsible for the Les Mis reference this time. It wasn't.
Lol. I love that. Less patriotic and more snake.
More snake.
Let's go. Let's have that roll from Ortlieb.
All right.
So that's going to be his singing roll. I can't remember what you did last time. What was it?
Isn't it singing? Isn't there a song?
There is literally a singing skill. Yeah.
Yes, there is, and I'm maxed out in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you maxed out like wealth and singing, right?
Wealth, singing, myths and legends, commerce, preparing food, and plant lore, apparently. Oh, and empathy and etiquette and persuasion.
Love it.
And fast talking. I can bullshit well. Which it might be what I'm doing right now. Because Ortlieb is more of a pragmatist than he is a idealist. Singing, pass, and I think that's a pass all the way, which means that I had. Wait, just a second. Okay, so I passed. I have 8 SR left over, actually 9.
That's like ridiculously
3.
high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3, level 3 quality.
Oh, that's just on the verge of 4 quality levels.
Oh, yeah.
So this song that comes forth from Ortlieb, it's that thing where you hit that perfect reverb, like the echo in here from the tunnels. It's just like, it's like you're in a grand cathedral and Ortlieb's voice is just hitting every perfect note. The highs are, the angelic and they linger in the air. They've got that pure tonal quality, and the bass is low and rumbling, and you feel it in your chest, and you just feel that you feel that inspiration. You feel that warmth, that courage from his song.
For like 8 minutes, apparently.
Oh wow,
That's how that works.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, is that your treat?
My
soul
inspire. Well, I don't know. However we want to do it. Inspiring leadership. I don't have the rules for that in front of me right now.
roll? I can check.
That would be great.
That's awesome. I love how whoever designed these sewers inadvertently made them really acoustically good.
Right.
I love that.
Mhm. He's got range like Mariah Carey. It's amazing.
I can't remember where it is, but there's a video online of somewhere in a I think it's like a mosque, and there's a certain point where they stand and the floor tiles are like designed to show you exactly where to stand, and your voice is here and it's perfect, it's clear, and it echoes all around.
Awesome.
So this is basically what happens to Ortlieb in this moment.
Yes. And yeah, we all feel like, I remember like, yeah, you know what? I'm a black mage. I can get through this, and I will come out of this and eat Ortlieb sausage in the literal sense and the blacksmith sausage in the not literal sense.
There it is.
There you go.
Okay, so as you continue to move further through these tunnels, it is feeling more oppressive, but that song from Ortlieb is just lingering in the back of your mind. And that fear that you would have felt bubbling up is kind of kept at bay. But it's getting colder and damper. And after a while, you think maybe two misread something. This can't possibly be the right way to go. Like, there has been no sign of anyone or anything. And it's been deadly quiet beyond the odd drip, drip, drip of the moisture from the stonework above. And it seems to have gotten smaller too, more cramped in. This is not like big vaulted ceilings. We're talking like maybe just about 6 foot clearance, between the floor and the top. So if anyone's pretty tall, they're starting to have to hunch a little as they're walking through these corridors.
Yeah, my staff is really long, so I have to
like carrying. Like Fareeha is just like, ow, behind you because you've jabbed her with it. So you continue to walk down and you come to a sort of big cross junction. And I would like everybody to make me a perception roll while we're here.
Yes. 15, 12, 12. Oh, the 1's good, the 4's good, 19. I fail.
Okay.
4 quality levels.
Hell yeah.
I got a 1 and a 19, so I was annoyed.
2 quality levels for me.
Okay. What do we get, Jim?
I'm looking up my skill rating for perception real quick. Okay.
Cool.
So I got QL1 for this one. Oh wait. Well, I am inspired, but still have those visibility. So no, he did not pass his perception check. It's really dark in here, even with the torch.
I mean, and it does things to you. You think you see things in the dark, and
it's ghosts.
But I mean, you did just fight a ghost. That was pretty scary. But Tu and Ortlieb, as you make your way to this sort of this junction, you kind of stop for a moment just to see if there's any sign of any way to go. Again, deadly quiet. Nothing but the little trickle of water, sewerage. We're not going to pay too much attention to that because we don't want to think about it that hard. But you look around, and Tu and Ortlieb, you catch for just a moment, just to the left, in the left tunnel, a flicker of torchlight of something. There's just a brief moment of brightness that is missed by Tariq and Garayan, but you two spot it.
Okay. Just for a moment of flicker, and it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tu would advise the others to wait here. It's like, hold tight, I'm gonna go take a look, and then he's gonna sneak off into the darkness.
Okay.
Do a bit of a scout.
All right, let's have that stealth.
Oh yeah, easy. That'll end up being, what's the first one here? Courage. Oh yeah, no, I smashed it. That's a 10. So that's another 4 quality levels.
Nice. Okay. So as everybody stood there and Tu's like, stay here, I'm gonna have a quick look. He almost seems to just disappear into the darkness. It's incredible how he does it. Like, he was there, then he's gone. And Tu, you sort of you manage to just obscure yourself in the darkness. You hunker down, you try and make yourself not look like a big dude stood in the corridor, and you creep your way forwards. And you can see there's like a turn, like a bend in this tunnel. And at the end of the bend is a door. And you see underneath the door the telltale sign of candlelight, or of light from the small crack underneath the door.
Okay. Okay. Tu would sort of go back far enough that he was in line of sight of the others, and would just do like a low sort of whistle to get their attention. It's real subtle sort of thing. And then he'd turn around and sort of go back towards the door to try and scout it out before they arrive. So if we're walking into a lot of trouble, then hopefully that only trouble happens to him.
Okay, so roll me a perception check again as you are looking for anything that could be trouble, TM.
I'm gonna. This looks like it's gonna be another massive roll. Intuition. Yeah, no, that's another forward quality. Lights are on fire.
I can imagine because it's so dark. Like choose for focus is like hyper. Like I will focus. No external interference. I will focus on this one thing. Yeah.
And he grew up in like really thick forests and stuff too, so he's sort of used to being closed in and being very aware of his movements, compared to like if he was trying to sneak across a desert, it'd be a whole different thing, I imagine. Yeah.
Exactly. So as you sort of creep a little bit further and you're looking around for anything that could be hazardous or trouble, you see just in the muck, just a few little bits off the ground is a telltale tripwire. And you see the tripwire, and it's disguised. It's disguised well in the muck and the crap. But as you sort of follow your eye, you look up, and you can see, like, disguised in the ceiling is a big comedy-looking axe that will just fall to if the tripwire is broken. Will just is designed to fall on a pendulum.
Okay. All right. See, now this is where I imagine Two's bumping into the edge of his ability here, because he's probably not very good at disarming traps. So he'll just wait until the others arrive, back a bit, and just let them know, big fuck off trap. Axe, swing down. Don't want that. Especially you, Gorion. It's dark. Lift him.
Grind's got his eyes closed right now because it's like easier for him to get around this place if he just listens and doesn't focus on his vision, right? So he's got like a hand on the wall so he doesn't fall into whatever muck there is. But he's going to rely on his hearing until we get somewhere that's brighter.
Yeah, I know nothing about traps. But
still can't do shit about traps.
I can do nothing about traps. I have zero mechanics, but I have, if people want, my wiggly fingers.
Oh, I forgot about the fingers.
I can help someone with some wiggly fingers if you need it. When the blacksmith likes me so much, Susie.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm slightly trained in mechanics. And I'm actually pretty good. Just my stats make it so that I do have some wiggle room, even if I don't have a lot of SR in it.
Hee wiggle.
I feel like that. Can we get that clipped? just for me.
Wiggle. We need a GIF. Wiggle.
Oh. Okay, I think with you being even slightly knowledgeable in mechanics probably makes you the most experienced to disarm this trap. So if we want to give that a go.
Okay. I'll do that, and I'll just say if we don't do this, we could also what if we just trip it with nobody here as a way to get them
it's a tripwire. We could just step over it. Right?
We could, or we could use it as
it's not like a pressure plate that we need to step. We can just like avoid it.
Well, should I try to disarm it? See what happens? I feel like I'm setting myself up for a big
we either step over it, or we very carefully set it off when we're not there and hope it doesn't make a noise.
Yeah.
Or
I'd say for speed, we should just step over it, honestly.
Okay.
That's good, because then it leaves it still untriggered for someone else to get into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Try to push them out the door.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I unwiggle my fingers. I'm like, okay.
Oh, wiggle.
And that's like cantrip. That requires no arcane energy to use. I can just be like wiggly all the time.
Okay, so you step over the tripwire, and you are now all in front of this door, which is still closed. I'm going to give you this for free without another roll because I don't want to bog us down in rolls. You don't hear anything on the other side of the door. You take that moment. I'm going to assume that you're competent enough to take that moment to listen, to see if there is someone on the other side of the door. but you don't hear anyone.
Okay. Okay, I could try and sense magic, but I think we know that there's magic on the other side. I think that's pointless. So yeah.
If we don't hear anything, is it locked or barred? Like if you just like press on it a little bit.
If you give it a little push, you can feel that there is a resistance there. There is appears to be like a no lock in the door that you can see. There's just one of those big like ring pull, big iron rings. But as you give it a little, you can hear like that of something on the other side of the door.
Oh, like something like barring the door.
You probably best assume, yeah.
Okay, if you tell me that, I can like wiggly and try and feel. Is it like a piece of furniture, or is it like a what's it called? The bar. What's it called?
I think it's literally just a bar.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I wiggle and I'm like, it's a bar.
Can you lift it up without it making a bunch of noise?
With my wiggly fingers?
Right.
I don't.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Can I try that?
Yeah, sure. Let's do a.
Also, I have just deemed that the word wiggle is now shorthand for cast the spell to turn my fingers into wiggly and then put it through a small space.
Yeah,
when I say I wiggle, it means I do
Wiggle
that.
it.
That's fair. That is fair. Let's go with body control.
Oh God, I have 2 points. Oh my God, I'm so bad at this. But I'm like, I'll try. I have this inspiring song echoing in my mind. I'm like, yeah. I turn to you, and I'm like, I'll do this. So let's see. Body control. My God. I don't know how many times we've made this skill check and all. Oh, 5. Okay. Let's see if that's 16. Okay, so body control 5, 12, 16. No, I'm 1 point. No, I'm a couple, like 1 or 2 points short.
Ooh, okay, so
3 points short. Yeah.
the way I will say this goes is the fingers wiggle beneath the door, and you get up and you can feel the bar. And you manage to get purchase on it, and you're able to push it up and out of the iron sort of slats that keep it in place. But as you're attempting to like softly bring it down so it doesn't make noise, it just tips off the edge of your wiggly fingers and makes a clatter on the ground.
Yeah, because they're wiggly, which means they can't grip very well, right?
Yeah, so they like bend backwards all weird, and the bar falls.
Yes.
And is it quite a loud clattering on the ground?
Loud clang.
Okay. Yeah, it sort of echoes around you.
Assuming that the gig is up at that point, 2 would very quickly, basically just like burst through the door, ready. Because anyone who's in there who's heard it, we don't want them getting ready.
Right.
If they're not in there and they're coming, you want to be ready for them. So either way,
let's do it.
Just like
and now that we wiggled, the door is easy to burst through, right? So yeah, we can actually do that. Nice.
Okay, so who's first through the door?
2?
2. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Ryan's behind him.
So 2 and Garen, you slam your way through the door. 2, you're up first. You ready? You've got your weapon upraised, and you can see and hear as this room is lit by a low torchlight. There's like little sconces on the walls because we've hit proper dungeon TM territory now, fam. You can hear. Running back up the corridor towards you, heavy footsteps, like someone's running, and you can hear that breathing, and the face in front of you is that of your mate from the cult, the ex-boxer who got kicked out of his ring for eye gouging. And he looks at you for a moment with confusion, and he's like, "The fuck are you doing here? And who are these people?"
And he's right in front of me?
Yeah.
Ooh. I think 2's just gonna smack him.
Oh no!
I think 2's just gonna
All right, let's go.
So he thinks like, can I be clever? No. Whop.
Do I have a comeback? No. Ugh.
Can we call him a
Yeah.
pugilist? I love the word pugilist.
Pugilist is great.
Yep. Now, if in doubt, the weapons come out. That's the way it works. So,
I love it. All right. So I will give you, because he stood there and talked. I'm gonna give you like a free hit before we roll any sort of initiative.
Oh, nice.
So roll to bop the dude in the face.
okay. All right. Oh, that's hold on. I need to look at what my target number is. No, I miss. I completely fuck it up.
You see the face of the man that this is your mate from the cult, and you try and swing,
I'll pause you quickly because it's
Uh-huh.
a surprise attack. Will I do more damage if I hit?
yeah, go on. It's the
Okay, I'm gonna
finale.
use a fate point then to re-roll. I guess that's how it works.
Yeah, fuck it, let's
Cool.
do it.
All right. That's better. I hit him.
You hit him, nice. Okay,
Just, but I hit him.
you bop him. So what is your damage?
It's not a hell of a lot for this thing. It is that's 8 points.
8 points. So what we will do is roll your damage dice again and just add that to the total.
Just the dice.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's 13.
13. All right. Okay.
Pugilist.
So the pugilist, whose name you did not get, but whose name is Little Jimmy, even though he's definitely like 6'5". He pulls back. He does that sort of wipes his chin. He's like, it's going to be like that then, is it? And I would like us to roll some initiative as he raises his fists.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, wow.
So initiative is D6 plus our initiative value, correct?
Yes.
I remember it rightly? Okay. 17.
Okay, so 2.
I'm gonna turn my lights on. It's getting a bit dark in here.
Jimmy was a
It's the worst initiative roll I've done all campaign. That's a great start.
Ryan, what was your initiative?
A 5+. Let's see. I forget my initiative score. So I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So 19 is my initiative.
Okay.
So he's got a lantern, which will last for 12 hours per whatever. Is how much visibility does that give him? Because if it's like also bright in here, he might be out of his night blindness.
I would say a lantern would give him pretty decent visibility in here. It'd be pretty bright.
Okay.
Unless it was like a hooded lantern or something that's supposed to be for a more subtle lighting.
No. This is just a straight up lantern, like a Coleman's lantern.
Oh yeah, well his night blindness 100% will be
All right.
be gone.
That's good. All right, that's good. And we got Ortlieb's treat soul rocking, so he doesn't have his fear, and he's got a 19 initiative.
Nice.
Nice. Ortlieb,
14 initiative.
14.
Mhm.
Okay, and Tariq.
17.
17. Okay. So unfortunately, we got a conflict here. 2 and Tariq are on the same initiative. So both of you
Well,
roll
he was
again.
in front, so okay.
I mean, if you would like,
Yeah, I'll
willingly
do because he was in front, so I'll like hold action or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So we're going to go. The order is going to be Gurion, 2, Tariq, Little Jimmy, and then Ortlieb. So Gurion, you are first up. So you've seen 2 just bop this dude on the chops, and he is pulled back and raised his fist ready to fight. What would you like to do?
Do we have space to draw swords, or is this more of a knife kind of fight?
This is probably, I'd say with 2, with his weapon being in here, it's probably going to be a knife fight for you because it's going to be pretty cramped, right? Like there's not going to be a whole room for both staff and sword. And
I'm swinging around and shit. Like, you've ever seen
Holy shit.
Modako? There's a lot of this going on. It ain't
Yes.
Right. So I rolled 3 because I forgot it's just an attack roll, but my first roll is 14. That would hit.
okay, that's going to hit. Let me
He's almost as
see.
good with a dagger as he is with a sword.
That's pretty kick-ass. Let me just see, because I believe I can defend, right?
Mhm.
Defense value. All right, 1 second. Let's see. Against defense value, where the heck is it on here?
It's a derived stat, I think.
I'm just looking at a table, like a pre-made character thing here.
No idea.
I'm trying to find it. His dodginess, he doesn't make it. He doesn't manage
Okay.
to dodge it.
All right, so I do 6 damage then.
6 damage. Okay. That sucks for this guy. He's not having a good time.
No.
So what does this knife fight, like this attack look like? What is Geraint doing?
Right. So, I mean, he sees 2 swinging, these big swings. He doesn't want to get in his way. So his sword's still in its scabbard. He
Mhm.
pulls a knife from somewhere. Right. It's out before you really see it. And he's punctured him. He's trying to get a good lung hit, right? Just under his arm or in his abdomen or something nasty. So, yeah, that's what he does. Faster than the eye can see. Kind of.
Nice. So in a flash, that knife is wedged somewhere into little Jimmy's torso, and the knife, you pull it out. There's that a flick of blood, and you can see like little Jimmy's white shirt is now blossoming red across his abdomen where he has been stabbed. And he doesn't seem to react to it, because here's a fun thing. Sometimes when you're stabbed, it feels like you just got punched. So he doesn't necessarily know right now that he is bleeding heavily, but he's still ready and fighting. But his attention is focused between 2 and Geraint right now. He doesn't quite know where to look. He's doing one of these, as it is now your turn too.
All right, cool. I'm going to do takedown on him, and basically swing and take his legs out from underneath him.
Nice.
Having a real bad time.
Nice.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, I'm aware that he's a wrestler and a cage fighter and stuff, but if I can keep him like on the ground, I'm effectively I'm trying to out MMA him and do a takedown.
And the ground here is stone, not slime, right?
Yes, it is stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that this area is a little more well tended to. It's a little cleaner in here, as you can tell probably by the sconces in the walls too.
Right. So I'm guessing there's like mud on the ground from people walking, but it's not like coated like.
No,
this
yeah,
thing.
it's not going to be a disadvantage for like gross slime or anything on the ground.
Okay, cool.
Now, here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
How far back into the hallway is that trap? If I was to sweep this guy's legs out, how hard would it be for us to then throw him through to the trap?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I would say maybe the tripwire is about like between 5 to 10 feet from the door, so enough that you trip it, you don't realize, and as you're heading for the door, you just get axed to the back of the head.
I'm gonna try and take his legs out anyway. Here we go. And I fucked up. I miss. I swing and miss really bad too. Not critical.
So you go for the shoot, right? You go head down, you try and go for that shoot to get him down. But he does the thing where he like throws his body weight, his legs backwards to equalize out that rush. And so he has you sort of like in that sort of huddled position as he is planting his feet, not getting taken down.
Mm.
Is there anything else you'd like to do? If you can.
I just spit at him in my own language. I just say some shit. He doesn't know what it is, but I'm just like fucking going at him.
He's really getting it. He just has no idea.
Yeah.
All right, Tariq, you're up.
Okay, I am going to. I very quickly like take like my staff was like pointing, slanting, right, to try and not bash into the ceiling. I suddenly like whip it over, and you all see the staff becomes wiggly as I turn into my adept's rope, which only costs 1 arcane point. And so it like snakes, and it has the power to curl around objects like I see. So how many torches are on the walls?
There are 2.
Perfect. So I like swing and I make it grab one of the like wrap on one of the torches, and I like swing the burning torch at the pugilist, trying to like burn him and hit him with the torch.
Ooh.
I'm cool. I'm black mage, bitches. I'll probably miss, but I'm still cool.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm guessing that's a chain weapon attack. I don't know.
That sounds more like that sounds along that sort of line is where we're going.
Yeah, because I'm looking and I was looking, is there like improvised weapon or something? I'm like, chain weapon seems good. So my strength is horrible, so we'll see what happens. So I just rolled a d20. I figure I'm having an attack roll in this game, really. So I just rolled a d20, and then what?
So you're rolling against your
My strength. My strength is 8. So I'm trying to roll below my strength, right?
Yes,
Okay,
I
just
believe with combat.
And I get it. I rolled a 5 and I have 6 points in chain weapons.
What?
Hell yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Hey, who knew that this humble black mage had
Hey,
had
who
this
are you calling
skull?
humble?
Well, sorry, not a humble. Humble was the wrong adjective to use there. All right, so your damage.
Okay, so yeah, how many? Yeah, I'm using the burning torch. I'm not really hitting him with the staff or the rope. So what do you think a damage would be?
I actually don't know. Do we have a weapons table I can quickly look at? Just out of reference, how much does your dagger do, Grind? What's your dagger at?
D6 plus 1
D6
is the
plus
dagger.
1.
Don't mind looking up like what would you call it, like a club or a...
Is it like a whip or something? We can look at.
I'm sure.
I don't. Let's see. Belongings. Add. Let's look at melee weapons.
Yeah, chain weapon has like Morning Star, which would be D6 plus 5. Man, I got the wrong weapon. D6 plus 5.
All right,
I'm
let's
guessing
do.
it'd be D6 plus something.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
D6 plus 2 because it's not exactly, it doesn't have the weight to it of a
Right.
Morning Star, but
Right.
it does have a flaming torch on the end of it that is gonna hurt.
I'm so excited, you guys. So yeah, I'm not normally like a
What?
fighter, right? But I know that my magic reserves are weak, and I see them, and I'm remembering Ortlieb's song, which has a reference to like something about rope, I don't know, chain, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and like miraculously because my companions are doing such a good job of just like attacking him. He's like distracted. He also doesn't expect me, a burning torch, to fly at him. So I manage that. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay. D6. So 1d6. Oh well, 3 damage. But still. 3 total.
3 total. Hey, damage is damage
Yeah.
is something I will always say to people. It's chip damage at the end.
Yeah,
of the
can we say we singe his eyebrows off?
Yes. So he was already bald, but now he just has no eyebrows too. He looks
He has no hair on his head whatsoever. Right
he's just completely hairless. Some people would pay a lot of money for that. But too, you feel this as you are sort of in that lower position trying to take him down. You feel the whoosh of this rope just like above you. It misses you by like maybe 2 inches, and you feel the heat of the torch come across above your head as little Jimmy recoils and screams as he gets smashed in the face with a flaming torch, and he's like, "Oh fucking!" as this happens.
Sorry. I'm so happy I succeeded on that roll. Okay, so yeah,
All right.
Jim says it's this basic. It's like we just did the same damage as a mage staff, so perfect. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. Okay, so he is going to It is up to his turn now. So he recoils back and he's gonna bring an elbow down and try and just smash you in the back of the head too, as you
Ooh.
are, you're in there wrestling and tussling with him. He's gonna just try and you in an illegal maneuver. But we're not in the ring right now. So
Pugilist.
let's see how he
Isn't
does.
Ortlieb good at fisticuffs?
Yes, I am a brawler.
Knuckles.
I do.
Nice.
Okay, he is going to succeed at that attack, so you can dodge or
Try and
parry it if you
parry.
should wish.
Yep. Parry.
With your like whirling like staff, right? Like
I did it. I need a 10. I got a 9. So it's just I bring my staff up and grab that elbow with it, I guess, and direct it off.
nice.
Yeah, sweet. So his elbow deflects off, but he manages to take that moment to take a step back and, recenter himself from that immediate tussle.
He smells of burnt hair though, so sucks to be him.
He does, and his face is burned. The side of his face. We're not quite like
Oh.
Prince Zuko.
I was just gonna
territory
say, is
just
it like
yet,
Prince Zuko?
but we're getting there. If this wound is not tended to, all right. I think though, he's not looking great, and I think as he steps back and he puts a hand to his face, he feels that burn. He also notices that he's bleeding quite heavily from his abdomen. He is gonna turn tail and run.
Oh no. We don't want to raise the alarm or anything.
I'd chase that motherfucker down.
Yeah, let's chase him down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't gone yet. So
You have not. So, Ottlieb, it is your turn. If you want
All
to
right.
be ahead of the pack and chasing him down.
Throw some
I-
cayenne pepper at him so he sneezes and trips.
that could work. Is he running sort of the opposite direction?
Yeah, he's running
Of
back down the
us?
corridor that he came from.
All right, I'm gonna just try to just full on tackle him. Also, I did want to mention I put on my real life brass knuckle.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh yeah. That is,
Yes.
yeah.
Death Saves, please sponsor me. I'd be the
Oh.
only mommy that you ever sponsor. It'd be great. But yes, I'm
All
going to
right.
just try to run him down and just foist all of my weight into him to bring him down.
all right. Let's see if you can take him down. I mean, you did take down a ogre
I did.
right at the beginning,
I
so
did. Would
one
this
dude should be no problem.
be like a body control? Like, how would we adjudicate this?
Probably a brawling attack, right?
Brawling
Yeah, I would
attack.
say a brawling attack. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
as you
I got
are
those.
Just trying to get him.
All right, sweet. I can do that. Oh, apparently, I can't do that. I'm gonna use Fate Point and re-roll.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
there we
with a
go.
three.
With a 3.
Very nice. Okay, so what is your damage for a brawling attack?
My damage is. What's your damage, Emma? It is 1d6 -1. I'm just using my brass knuckle. Or 1d6 +1. 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, holy shit. All right. So, 2, as you you see him turn tail and run, Gorion, you two, as you're ready with your knife, you're ready for him to make the next attack or your next attack. You see him run, and then pushing past you, Ortlieb just gives chase, his portly stature just moving like the fucking wind as he chases after this guy, and with a single overarm Superman punch to the back of his head with the brass knuckles,
Back of the head.
you hear that connection, that sickening crunch of the knuckle meeting his skull, and he falls down face first onto the ground, and he gives a couple of twitches and doesn't move.
Oh,
It's like Rondra's mighty fuse. That was a strong blow, Ortlieb.
and I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I would have liked to break
Back
into the fortress of his intellect to see what's up, but this works too. As in, Ortlieb literally broke through the fortress of his intellect, right? Like with a fist.
Ortlieb is taken aback and stunned because I believe that this is the first humanoid he has ever taken the life of.
Wow.
He's
And-
just sitting there, kind of looking at what happened.
Yeah, Tim would walk up and sort of prod him with
Yeah.
the staff, and then
He
seeing
did.
him not move, just sort of look up at all the like.
Orly was going to completely ignore all these people saying, "Oh, this is badass," and he's going to get himself on with his work and try to hide the fact that he's like deeply uncomfortable that he just
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
You're a merchant, yeah.
I'm a merchant. I don't. It's yeah. Step one is don't kill the customers. Don't kill them.
Shit, that's where I've been going wrong.
Speaking of good business practice and goods, does he have anything on him?
Okay, so
Keys.
you're like, sucks, he's dead. Oh well, pat him down. There's a small pouch with a couple of coins in it, a couple of silver coins in there. He is wearing beyond his nice white shirt, which is now a claret shirt. He was wearing his cultist robes, and you see dangling around his neck was an amulet looking kind of thing with the snake. Almost it was like an Ouroboros kind of thing we had going on with the snake imagery. He was wearing one of those around.
Maybe two should put on the robe and the necklace in case we need to trick someone.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own robes, but I didn't. Oh no, we left them behind. I think.
Yeah, you weren't bringing them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll fine. Yep. I'll put that stuff on. Two doesn't carry money, so he'll give his blood money to Ortlieb.
Yeah.
Here you go, Hoa. You earned that. And this wink.
Oh,
Ortlieb is looking at like if there's any other entrance out of here. He's just all the way. He's his mind is anywhere but this dead person.
How does the princess react before we go out one of those entrances?
So the princess at that point, she was kind of lingering at the back of the fight. And she was looking as though she was keeping watch from behind to make sure you won't be surprised from the back.
Yeah.
She has a small dagger in her hand. Well, not a small dagger, but a dagger in her hand that she had sort of in a reverse grip where, she's looking through the door. And then she just turns around and she seems very nonchalant about the dead guy. She's like, "Oh, job well done. I saw you had it covered, so I thought I'd make sure no one surprises from the back."
Okay, cool.
Or leave around all these hardened killers.
And people think
But it's like,
blackmail
good
is
job.
bad. We don't, we just break into people's intellect and steal their memories, secrets, thoughts, and privacy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the princess has revealed to you before that she was basically an assassin for this.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I figured. That's what it sounded like. Yeah.
She's not averse to killing or upset by it.
She did protect the village, though, and that was nice of her.
She did.
Yeah. So what does it look like around here? Like are we still in a tunnel? Is a room? Like
So this is kind of it's become much more structured here. As before the sewers, as you remember, we're basically in the ruins of an ancient city below Havana. This is now much more as if time and effort has gone into constructing these walls. So now this looks more like a classic traditional dungeon with the nice like smooth gray stone flooring and walls and stuff like that. There's like little iron sconces every now and then, but you can see this corridor that little Jimmy ran into is much longer and starts to descend down. There's a staircase at the end of it, and it's a little taller now. It's not as cramped as it were. There's it's like 7 foot maybe now.
Okay.
There's a little clearance.
Gotcha.
But there's no sort of offshoots from here. It's very straight, like linear.
Let's keep going down. If it's wide enough for like two of us to walk side by side, he'll keep pace with two.
Yeah.
Otherwise, keep going.
It's wide enough, for two people abreast, so you get your really like peak spooky cults, or like two abreast walking hoods up, like it's your peak aesthetic. So two and Garayan are up front.
Are you dressed in the robes too?
I mean, yeah. I'm torn on that front. On one hand, dressing up that way, and I mean, like little Jimmy wasn't all walking around all cultist. So,
well, he was wearing the robes, wasn't he?
Underneath his other outfit, though, it was underneath his regular outfit. So I'm torn. I am torn. I'm torn. I'll have them on me for the event that we should need them, but I'm not gonna be wearing them.
Okay.
Just so it's a mana thing. If he's gonna die, he wants his tipuna to see him. So it's like,
Yeah.
like, you gotta witness me, unless I have to be sneaky, because that's okay, because that's a get out of jail free card. If I have to be doing my thing, then that's all right, because that's how it works.
Yeah. I like the range of options.
Bro, look at Maui, our demigod. Sorry, I'm getting into real world now. Our demigod was sneaking and lying and doing all sorts of shit, and we revere him. So it's not don't think your Western chivalry bullshit. We have a whole different idea.
Got some
of what
flexibility.
Yeah.
That's all right. Garion's not particularly chivalrous either. He never fights honorable if he doesn't
It's
have
one of those
to.
things. If you outfight someone, that's cool. That's good mana. If you outsmart someone, it's good mana. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's all the same thing. As long as what you're doing is improving the situation for your community and yourself, then hey, that's good mana.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Let's keep going.
Okay, so as you creep further down the corridor, you start to hear it now. Low rhythmic chanting. You can't quite make out what it is that is being said, but it's that sort of just low sound that seems to just start to fill the corridor around you as you descend. And you can hear the hiss back, but it's very quiet, very subdued, as you hear this whisper of a hiss. And you can see at the end of the staircase going down the sconces, but there is clearly something larger at the bottom. It clearly opens up as you sort of begin to descend.
So I have an idea, you guys.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, I took an elective course where we studied cross-disciplinary spells, and I know a spell to create billowing fog. It was very challenging because cross-disciplinary magic is not my forte. As you know, I'm more about, fortresses of the intellect. So if there's a ritual going on that they need to complete, I know that some ritual, I don't know if this ritual, but many rituals need very precise movements and things. If I fill the chamber with billowing fog, that might disrupt their ritual because they're like, well, what am I looking at? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like where your head's at.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least.
I always like praise from my countrymen. So
and it also gives us some cover to like sneak in.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Sounds like a
For some
win-win.
reason, I'm imagining there's going to be a bigger hole, and if we sneak in, we can hopefully find say the magistrate chick. We could full on this is Sparta her. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I love that it's a verb. Our verb is to this is Sparta.
Uh-huh.
We'll make all these new verbs today. Wiggle, this is Sparta.
Okay, so as you make your way further, you reach the bottom of the staircase, and you can see now that you have entered an improbably large cavern beneath the city. This is like some sort of Dark Souls shit, right? This is a huge, big cavern.
Okay.
And you are on, because it's cinematic as shit, like a little cliff above it. And you can see there's a little staircase that winds down from the left and the right of where you are. And you see down below, there's a sort of a plateau area, a little area where there has been a dais constructed almost like a small wooden stage. And you can see on here are a whole gaggle of cultists all stood around in their robes, and they're doing the chant. They don't seem to be moving too much.
Okay.
They're all stood there chanting and making these sounds. And you can see you spot her straight away, stood in the middle of this dais, her arms raised. She's the loudest voice here, Magistrate Koreshi, as she is leading this chant. There's almost like a call saying things.
Oh.
And you can see at the edge of the stage, there's like a huge pit So it descends even further. And you can hear as the chanting grows louder, so does that hiss. And I would like everybody to roll me a perception while you're up here on this little
I can
cliff.
also like try and make her fall asleep in the middle of her chant, just saying.
Sure.
Which would be very funny. Perception. 15, 12, 12.
I failed. I'm too distracted.
Oh, I succeed
Three.
super well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 quality levels.
3's 2 for me.
Okay, so you as you're watching this thing happen, you look into that pit. You can see the hint of scale. There is a slither of movement within this pit, and it's whatever is in there is large.
Oof, 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 oof.
I'm gonna
Okay,
draw my sword.
I turn to my friends and I'm like, should I?
Cultists are there? You see the gaggle. I don't know how much a gaggle is.
So there may be about between 10 to 20 of them. But as you're watching the thing happen, talking, there's a point where the chanting stops. And cultists move from their position. They line at the edge of the dais. They open up their hands, proclaim things, their names, a piece of knowledge, things that you know they would have put in the book too.
Okay.
And with a hiss, a huge snake face comes up and just swallows them.
Oh my god. Like all 10 cultists?
They stand in a group and they are like en masse. Just
Oh my god.
So who's left?
so there is Magistrate Koreshi still there, and there are I said there was about 10 to 15, like 5 more cultists that are stood here, and they begin
Okay.
the chanting.
But they sacrifice themselves to the snake, and then the snake is okay. So we don't want to. This is Sparta her. We want to lure her away. I guess.
Yeah. I can try and make her fall asleep.
That's not a bad idea.
Should I try that?
It's your call, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, there's also a cross class. It's actually this one's a cross class. It's like a druid spell. Yeah, it's a druid spell.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I get a cross class bonus at the beginning or something. So I'm like, okay. This is related to the Fortress of the Intellect, but it's slightly different. It's like an adjacent sub-discipline thing. So I like put my hands together and I rub them, and then until they get warm, which like mimics the warmth of the embrace of sleep. And then I open them and then I go, and let's see if it works. It's not my best spell. I only have 4 points in it. And okay, 8, 14, 10. I think I have it. 8. Yep, I have it. I have 4 points. So I spend 2 of the points. And then I have 2 points left over. That's quality 1, right? Oh, wrong spell.
No, wait, what?
Yeah. 2 points is a quality level 1,
Yep,
right?
that is. Yep, quality level 1. Yep.
She gets 1 level of stupor for 1 minute.
Stupid. Okay.
So she doesn't fall asleep fully, but she gets 1 level of stupor and fatigue for 1 minute.
Okay. All right.
Stupor and fatigue.
So she stops chanting. She sort of gets this hazy, woozy sort of like wobble to her appearance. And you can see there's a sort of confusion amongst the remaining cultists as they sort of, you see their hoods turn as they're like, what's happening? What would you all like to do? As she sort of like stops and she's like rubbing her eyes, she's trying to figure out what's going on, but she's very drowsy.
I love magic.
Is there this room we're in? I'm assuming there's going to be a good echo, right?
Yes.
All right. Fuck it. I've done it every other fight. 2's going to do. He's going to just be a fucking the most badass hacker he's ever done. And it's going to be all about how I'm going to come down there and I'm going to fucking eat your monster. And I don't give a fuck who you are. And he's just going to starts going, so it starts reverberating, but he's also like fucking charge to the others.
Yeah, he's gonna charge.
So
yeah.
he's just sort of like, ah! And so
Liam, do you know how to do an actual haka?
I do, but
Oh my God, that's
not
awesome!
in this setting. I've done a few, yeah. There's
awesome.
actually a video of one that I was at. I'll send you after the show. But yeah, so he'll do one and he'll just start going. And his idea is as soon as this chick starts getting drowsy, everyone's like, "What's the fuck is going on?" This rising voice in a language they don't understand, but they if you've ever seen a haka, it's scary. So he'll just start doing it and as like a intimidation thing before running down there. So hopefully they're all like, "We're gonna die."
Yeah. while it seems like if they seem distracted, especially Gorian's just gonna charge in.
Sweet.
Everybody look at 2.
I have a question.
Yes.
How high above them are we? And are we like directly above them?
I would say that you're maybe, oh God, directions and things are my bad thing.
Is it more than 10 feet above?
No, let's say you're like a story. You're like a house story, so about 10 foot ish.
Yeah. Okay. That's less fun. I was really hoping it would be like more than 50 feet, so it could, like achieve some critical velocity there. But
Okay. Are you joining the charge?
yes.
Okay. So there's this charge, and you see the cultists sort of turn, look, and they're like, "Oh shit, we've been fucking rumbled, lads." And one of them tries to run away, and you can see that they're grabbed by one of the other cultists. And there is that brief moment talk of like, the fuck do we do, before they decide that they must complete the ritual, even if it's early. And they begin to run for the edge towards the snake is so that they could throw themselves into its ghastly maw.
No.
So I would like, if we can right now, do some initiative, and we'll see if you can interrupt them before they manage to get there. Or if they manage to do it.
Another 17.
Oh, nice.
Okay, let me. Whoa. All right, so 2. What did you get?
17.
17.
The worst result I can get twice. One fucking
Gorian.
20.
20. Otley.
15.
15. Tariq.
19.
19. Okay. So order is going to be Gorian, Tariq, cultists, 2, and then Otley. So you're up first, Gorian.
All right. I don't really have anything that's particularly good at like knocking them down, but Gorian's gonna go like, well, if the snake's eating them, then if I kill him first, the snake can't eat him. Maybe. So that's his entire logic.
Well, I could try and fog them so they run willy-nilly.
That's true. Yeah. I think that's a good idea too. All right, here we go. And I'm going to use a forceful blow, so I think I'm taking a -2 for or +2.
But you're not claustrophobic or in the dark anymore, right?
I know, he's feeling good. This is his element.
Space we're in.
Right, this is his element. Oh yes, that is a hit. Minimum damage, that sucks, but I'm forceful blow, so that's at least an extra 2.
Nice.
So that's going to be 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay. Because these are jobber cultists, their whole purpose, like the Putty Patrol in Power Rangers, is to get killed with one blow. Gorian, you, how do you take down this cultist that's trying to?
So Gorian's going low. He's most people he fights like, oh, they think you're going to go for the body or something like that. He's going for knees, ankles. He's got his sword out. anything that might trip them up or make walking or anything more difficult. So maybe he just hits an artery in the leg and just
Oof.
goes white, bleeds out.
So much like Gage from Pet Cemetery, you do a swipe with your blade. You cut the Achilles tendon of one of the cultists with one bit as the blade follows up and hits an artery in the thigh as the arc continues, and the cultist just collapses to the ground, grabbing the leg, trying to stem the blood before
Sounds
they
really
just.
painful.
Sounds very bad. Yeah.
Well,
There's
I
a lot of
mean-
nerve and vein stuff there.
You join a cult, you know.
What do you expect? Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. He's just going to move right on to the next one. He's not even checking to see if he actually killed anybody. He's
Oh,
just
nice.
like striking and moving.
Okay, Tariq, you're up next.
I see all them run. It's a big chamber, right? So I see them all run towards, and I'm like, I can feel my magical essence like weak, right? We've been in this haunted like sewer for a while. I feel my magic essence. I haven't got a lot of good sleep because I'm doing other things with the blacksmith. But no, I think we got a bonus D6 once for that. I think you said like you get more.
I think so. Yeah, I think I did.
Anyway, so I'm like, oh my god, we just stopped them from jumping in the pit. So I'm like, okay. Using the fog spell only costs 4 points, which is my lowest cost spell, which is I have 4 points left. So I'm like, okay. I like wiggle my fingers to get the right like joint maneuvers, and then I go. And try and like breathe out this like wall of fog. Let's see if that works. 13, 8, 13. I believe that will work. It does with 3 points of quality, and it doesn't say anything about quality level for this spell. So that'll be 1 quality level. But yeah, it is a 200 cubic yards of fog.
Holy shit, okay.
So that's a lot of fog.
So is there anything in that?
It billows out much faster than my actual breath because I can't breathe that much fog out. It was like
Okay, all right. So you drop that fog on top of them, and you hear panicked shouts from within. You know that, oh my god, who turned out the lights? You know, like that kind of stuff. And you can hear that there's the scattering around now. They're not going the same direction. You know, they've kind of got a little lost and are a little bumbling around into this fog. Although,
because I have so few magic points, every time I do a spell, it feels kind of really epic because I can't do them that often. So yeah.
I'm gonna afflict them with confusion as they are now lost in this fog. So we'll see how that works for them with the confusion. Nadia is still at this point still groggy. She's still trying to get her focus. But 2, you are up next. So you are shouting your hacker, declaring your intentions to eat the shit out of the snake. What are you up to next? What's your next move?
With all this fog, have I lost the magistrate? That's Nadia, right?
Yeah.
Have I lost her in the fog, or do I know where she's at? Could I get to her if I wanted to?
I would
Or is
say
she higher? I don't know. Yeah. Is she,
No,
it's
she's
a lot
just
of
on
fog.
it's a lot of fog. It's like 200 cubic yards. Like this whole platform is just lost in fog. It's kind of like to you two up on this little cliff that you're on. It's like a Dark Souls fog gate. You can't really see anything through it. You'd have to step into it. But I would say with 2's direction sense and stuff, he could probably get a good bead on where she is.
Okay. And what was she so she was confused? Explain to me what her
So
situation
she is basically just wobbling on the spot. She is groggy, she's confused, she's not moving, she's not saying anything. So she's been put into like a stupor.
Yeah.
For I think it was like a minute.
Black mage, bitches.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to check?
I'm
Spell.
torn between this running around and like trying to round up some of these cultists and take them out and ending the ritual, or just going straight for the head of the snake, so to speak, and just
Mhm.
go up to her and just like pull out my hatchet and just cleave her in the head. And just get it done with.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
it's efficient.
I didn't even know you had a hatchet.
No, that's the thing. I've always used the same weapon, but I'm like, well, sometimes you gotta pull it out for the glory kill. So does she have the book? Was she reading from the book or anything when she was doing her thing?
I forgot to mention it because brain. But yes, she was reading from the book.
Okay.
She
So there's a
has that
secret
with
in
her.
that book. He wants that book back. That's
Ah.
going to be his fucking book. So he's going to go, and while she's sitting there floating on the spot, like at the end of Mortal Kombat, waiting for a fatality, he's going to go give her one, basically. Just emerge out of the fog on top of her and just go nuts.
Fuck yeah. All right. So you run down there, you pull out the hatchet. Let's have that attack roll.
All right. Come on, don't fail me now, dice. Oh, they didn't fail me. It's a hit.
That's a hit. All right, let's have that damage because I'm going to say she can't defend.
7 points of damage.
Ooh.
Ooh, all right. Okay. All right. So she's going to take 7.
Nice,
bear with me
nice,
1 second.
nice.
Oof. All right.
Yeah, so if she had fallen asleep, vigorous action would have woken her up, but she's not asleep. She just has stupor. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying because I like to favor a cinematic kind of
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
That with the blow,
Yeah.
she is roused.
Okay,
Because
perfect,
she's
yeah.
just got a stupor, right? It's
Perfect,
not
Paralysis or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, it's not paralysis.
Perfect.
So
But you got a
as-
good blow off her.
yeah, as you hit her too, she she sort of comes around and looks at you, and there's that moment of like, you motherfucker, I fucking knew it. Like that second in her eyes as she spots you. There's that recognition.
I love that.
Okay.
She can see me just like all of my fucking ancestors. She's about to join them.
Oh, that's a fucking great line. Holy shit. Oh.
Join them. I love that. Yeah.
All right. So as 2 delivers this blow to the magistrate, we cut to Ortlieb.
All right. Ortlieb is like, seems like things are good and confusing. He's worried about the snake. And knowing what he knows about snakes, he knows that scent is very important to them.
Mhm.
So one thing that Ortlieb has with him is a tinderbox and a 20-pound spice chest.
Which we've
Okay.
been lugging around the whole time.
All
Yeah.
the time. I mean, it's not really that, like, it adds up. And so what he's going to do is he's going to burn some of his inventory.
Literally burn it.
Literally burn it. In the hope that kind of like, it's just like overwhelming information for the snake. That's what I'm hoping
Yeah.
to do.
That's amazing.
That's really
Have
cool.
some smoked turmeric, snake god.
Mhm.
Yes. I've burned some expensive spices before and it smells awful. So
Okay.
this will hurt Ortlieb emotionally and financially, but
Ortlieb's just having a really bad day.
Tough
having
day.
a really tough day.
Someone's gonna need to treat Ortlieb's soul.
Yeah.
It's true.
Aw.
It's true.
I'll just break into the fortress of his intellect and rearrange some stuff.
They
You
can
know?
forget it
no.
all.
I'm gonna miss doing this.
I know, right? I get so
Okay,
hydrated in these games.
I know,
Thank
right?
you.
I'm not going to make you roll a check to do this because that
Okay.
seems silly that
Yes.
you wouldn't know how to set fire to some spices.
Hmm.
But you managed to do that. You set fire to your stash, and it smells real bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
Oh.
it's almost suffocating, especially as you're right over it, Ortlieb. I mean, you prepare yourself. Ortlieb's probably got like a little neckerchief or something he pulls
yeah.
up over his face.
Mhm.
But even then, it still like hits you, right? Like, fuck, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And you
Wait,
start like wafting it towards the snake just to make sure that it
Yes.
gets over there.
Yes, if possible, I'd like to have it tied up so I can use it as like, what do you call those things that Catholics have with
Yeah.
a censer?
Yeah.
Wait, did
Yes.
Ortlieb and I together make a stinking cloud spell?
Yeah.
There we go. Collaborative magic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, so I think you probably jury rig something. We can spend your turn doing that. Like
Cool.
it's just a big sensor, just stinky smelling spices.
That's what I want to do.
Sweet.
Oh my god, that
And
was
the rest of you can start to feel that now, starting to just, it's that burning sensation, you know, when like it's just, it stings the corner of your eyes and,
Yeah.
and it's in your nose. You're like, but yes, okay. It is Nadia's turn. Oops, no, oh, wrong thing to scroll. She is pissed. And she is going to, I believe she's going to attempt to cast a spell. So let me just try and find the spell because I had it. And then I closed my book because I'm a genius. Not that one. Okay. Sorry, just bear with me, friends.
Mhm. Ugh, my most powerful spell is 16 points. Ugh,
Ugh.
it's really hard to do.
She is going to. Oh, there it is. Found it. She's going to try and set 2 on fire.
Oh god. Oh, is she doing Ignifaxius?
She's doing Ignifaxius. Yes. So she claps her hands together, much like
does that,
Sailor
yeah.
Mars does that, and tries to shoot this ray of fire towards 2. So she's going to make.
That's Ignifaxius.
She's going to try and make the check. So let me see. No, that was the wrong button. Nailed it. Oh. Yeah, she's going to succeed on casting that.
Oof, that can be a painful spell.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything I can do, like dodge or anything, or am I just wearing this one? 'Cause I was
it
thinking really
says-
confidently to myself before the session. 2's never actually been hit. I've gone this whole campaign without taking any damage.
Wait, really?
Now fucking barbecue. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It says if the opponent doesn't defend, so
I can.
give you a chance to defend.
All right. Okay. Let's see if I can dodge.
Luckily, you're not a flammable target.
Mhm.
Oh no, I was oiled up pretty good for the fights upstairs.
It's been a ruse the entire time.
3. That will dodge. Hopefully.
Okay, yeah, that'll dodge. Bummer.
Yeah, thanks.
It's a pretty at first quality level it does 2d6 plus quality times 2 damage points, right? But does 2d6 plus 2 at first quality level, so oof.
But so she I know that's technically supposed to be 2 action spell, but you know, it's the finale. She's a big boss. So she casts this fire towards you 2, but you manage to duck out of the way. And the flames just lick at you, but not enough to cause any damage. Your clothing is like singed a little, the stuff that you're wearing. As that's the end of her turn, which will bring us back to the top with Gorion.
Yeah. So with the fog up, is there anybody within his sort of immediate surroundings he could get to?
Okay, I'm gonna say, whilst in the fog, you have a confusion rank of 1 level of confusion, which gives you a -1 to all checks.
Right.
Sorry, but I thought it was more important to blind them.
No, it is. It is. Besides, last time I played, he also had levels of confusion and stupor because he botched his carousing check. So, so this isn't nearly as bad. Yeah, he's just going to move through. He saw that flash of light from the spell, and he's just going to head that way. If there's anybody between him and there, he'll attack them.
Okay, so we're going really cinematic with this sort of combat. We're not going like lines and rules. So as you're moving your way towards the flash of light that you saw, a cultist appears out of the fog at you, and they do that stunt double attempt at a punch as you lurch out at them from the fog. So let's have that attack.
Oh, I'm going to re-roll that one.
Oof. That was a 20.
Yeah. Assuming I am able to. Come on.
I love how roll 20 is like, look, green. I'm like, no, not green.
Right. No, it's not green. That's going to be a miss.
Okay. So the cultist, rears up out of the fog. You also are not ready. You make that swipe, but you just miss. You miss each other in the fog. The cultist seems to disappear. Everything's confusing. You're hearing shouting. You're hearing the hissing. You're seeing the flash. You feel the heat. You smell that whatever the fuck it is, the Ortlieb's burning.
Ortlieb done.
And it's all just a mess right now.
Yeah. Now he whiffs it and just keeps moving.
This is shaky cam to the fucking max.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, Tariq.
Okay. Do I think that smashing the eye gem, the eye orb, will achieve anything? Would I know that, or? Because I have it on me.
You do have it on you. Let's have a
magical lore.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's have magical lore.
Okay, check. Magical lore 15, 15, 12. Not terrible, and I have 7 points, so not bad at all. Okay, so I get 7. No, I have 5 points left. That's a quality level 2, 3.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So you take a moment and you think to yourself, well, if I smash this fucking thing, will it help? You don't think it will damage the snake anyway. You don't think it's going to cause a sort of hurtful effect to it, but you do know that it did manage to see you outside. So maybe if you smash it, it won't be able to see you in the fog. So it might be a benefit, as in it's not going to know exactly where you are.
Yeah. Okay, so just for style points, because my staff is still a rope. I haven't made it erect, right? So it's my flaccid staff. So I grab I swing the rope into my backpack. I make it curl up around the orb, and whoosh, and I just fling it against the stone wall. I'm just like, whoosh. I'm getting a lot of use out of this out of my staff rope today. I'm trying to smash it to try and blind the snake or confuse it or something. Yeah.
Okay, that kicks ass. All right, so roll me another chain weapons attack, and we'll just see how successful it was.
I succeed. My strength is 8. I rolled a 7.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So yeah, you command the rope to curl around the globe. You flick it out, and you hear the impact of it against the cavern wall. You hear that telltale shattering of glass, and that crunch as the pieces land on the ground. And you hear from beneath all of this in the ground, you hear a frustrated hiss.
Yay! I'm so useful, you guys. I telepathically tell you all.
Sweet.
Okay, so after that, it is the cult members, and you can't see them. They're in the fog. But you do hear a Wilhelm scream.
Oh, no.
All right, 2, you're up. The magistrate is in front of you. She's just tried to set you on fire.
Okay, so I realized I asked this last turn, but when she was doing the ritual, the incantation, was she reading from the book? Like, was it open?
Yes,
Was she?
she had the book. Yeah.
And where is it? Is it like on like a stand or?
Yeah, it's on like a little lectern on the stage. It's now probably behind her because she's like turned to fight you. But yes.
Oh,
Actually, as well, while you're here, roll me a perception check as you look at her and you look at the book.
Yeah, that'll end up being 4 quality levels.
Okay, holy crap. You can see that one of her hands, which you had seen from up above that had been in contact with the page, is like black with ink, and you can see like words and things and images embedded in her skin, like crawling up, twisting up and around.
The spell from the book we learned last time, the snake's transformation spell. It was like taken out of the book. Oh wow.
Okay, I'm not. Do I have reason to believe that if the book was damaged or unreadable, that might spoil this for her, or is
It'd be a fairly easy conclusion to come to.
okay? Then can 2 try and like I have feint as an ability, so I'm thinking I feint towards her, then go past her and just bring the hatchet, the axe right down on the book. As hard
Hell
as I
yeah.
Because my shit's in there too. I want it gone. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this book. You know?
Nice.
Yeah.
All this time worshipping this fucking book for nothing, you dumbass bitch. Now, you know, that's where 2's at. I'm going to burn it all down.
Hell yes.
So,
how does this feint work?
The way feint normally works, this is just me trying to be creative. Feint normally you do it and it reduces the defense of the opponent, right? So you do it as a way to make it harder for them to defend against you. But I'm just wondering if we can. It is harder for me to do than a regular attack, so I'm wondering if we can do that, and instead of me attacking her, I attack the book. I mean, in theory, she'd still have a chance to defend herself. It would just be at the lower. Yeah, like to try and defend the book, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cool. We'll do that.
Liturgy.
Yeah. Let's do that because that sounds really cool. That's I'm all about bending the rules so we get the cool stuff. So we'll do the feint and attack the book, and I will give her a chance to try and defend the book with a defense.
All right. So for the sake of everyone who's listening or whatever, it's -2 for my attack, but at the same time it ends up. Sorry, it's -1 for my attack, but it gives a -2 penalty to the opponent.
Okay.
That's how it works. So that's a success. It's a 7. So
Okay.
I succeeded that. I guess you can try and stop me from hitting the book when she realizes what's going on, but I just basically go fake out on her, so she's like, ah! And then I smash down on the book.
I love that.
All right, I'm going to attempt to have her roll the defend to... hang on one sec. No, that's a 20. There is no way that she interrupts you as you feint to hit her. She recoils back as in like, no.
And I go
you
2-hand on it and I just bring it down. It's like I want to go through the fucking book and through the lectern. You know what I mean? Like I am splitting firewood.
Fuck yes. Okay, so books don't necessarily have a HP value in the Dark Eye. So because of how cool that attack was, how badly she was at defending it, I'm just gonna give you that. You just cleave straight through both the book and the lectern. Everyone, you hear that splitting of wood sound, and you hear the magistrate cry out like, no! no. You know, she does the mummy bit where she's like, no, as, from the second Mummy movie, which is whew. Anyway. So yes, is there anything else you would like to do too? Even your attack.
I don't know. I don't know what 2 would do. I thought either split that down and just I was going to be real petty and just laugh at her. Just laugh at her, real petty. And it starts off as like a.
I love it. What do you do? Be petty as an action. I'm going to design a game where be petty is a combat maneuver.
Yes.
I fucking love that so much. Okay. So as that laugh rings out, Ortlieb, you are up next. So there are still at least 3 cultists running around in the smoke, and there is still the magistrate. And in the pit somewhere is the big snake.
Yes. Is the big snake making any noises or indications of what it's doing?
So the sound of the hissing is growing louder and angrier, as well as you can tell by the movement, like the cavern is shaking every now and then as it moves. But the second that you did your smoke bomb, as it were, the stink bomb, the tone of it changed, as if it's distracted, if it's disoriented.
And it can't see well, so it's like plenty disoriented, I think.
I think right now, because if it's not clear already, Ortlieb was really not a combatant very much at all. I think he wants to
well in your
I know that worked. I want to move towards where the magistrate said no, and Ortlieb is looking for books and pages. He has an interest in that. So.
Okay, so you've managed to make your way over to the sound. You can see the magistrate. Yes. You can see 2 having a fucking ball with belly laugh. You can see that he smashed this lantern, and there's a clearly destroyed book here too. You know, like pages have flown out, but the thing is wrecked. It's like it's all torn apart. The binding is fucked. The cover is shot. Some of the pages just completely destroyed.
I want to try to spend this turn grabbing as many pages as I can.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so you spend your turn. I'm not going to make you roll for this again because it's the point. But you spend this time, trying to collect as many of these pages as you can while this is all happening around you. It is the magistrate's turn. She does. Is she that stupid? Is she that distraught? We'll find out.
Maybe she can make a willpower check to see if she's distraught or not.
That's not a bad idea. Let's see how she's doing. I'm going to sneeze. Just bear with me 1 second.
Isn't tight.
Thank you. All right. Willpower. Let's see. Let's see how she does. Ooh, okay. She's holding it together. It is clearly quite difficult for her. Those that are around her, you can see she's torn between grief of what's happened to this book, anger, fear, confusion. It's like, what the fuck? How did this just happen to me right now? She's got that
going so well.
Yeah, she's got that look about
I feed
her.
you hors d'oeuvres.
You had beer. She is going to she drops to her knees and she starts very quietly muttering something to herself. She's moving her hands in a very practiced rhythmic motion, much like hand signs in Naruto, as she is like clearly starting to cast a spell. but it's going to take some time for her to complete that spell. So that's going to be her turn, which will bring us back to Gorion.
All right, so I have a dilemma. The rules lawyer and instigator part of me is coming up against the no retconning a combat round, but I technically spend a fate point on a botch, which I wouldn't be able to. And there's this really sweet botch table for what happens, and I kind of want to roll on it.
Let's do it. Let's do
All right.
it.
Okay. So I get
a
that
delayed botch.
Yeah, I get that fate point back, and let's
Yeah,
figure.
it's
This
so
is the
foggy,
fog. No one
watch is
saw.
delayed.
Yeah. So this is 2d6. I could either hurt myself, my weapon could go missing, I could stumble. It seems really cool. So 5. Let's see what that is. 5 is weapon lost.
Oh.
A weapon falls to the ground, and in the fog, I imagine he's just gonna forget.
Also,
So,
the
yes.
fog is gonna last 30 minutes.
Oh god. Yeah. So there's a loose longsword somewhere on the ground, as it goes clattering, and he's running one way, and it goes spinning the other. Good thing he's got his dagger. So yes, awesome. Love that table.
Sweet. Okay. We'll say in the fog, another cultist just like smashes into you. You know where you like bump shoulders, and that's where it sends the sword flying, and it's out of your field of vision. So it's gone to fucking Narnia, as far as you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gone.
Very good. Very good. All right. Love it. In that case, he's gonna like keep going. This finds why he carries more than one weapon, and draws that dagger. He's still heading for where he saw the flash of light, and I'm assuming what is
And
now
the
laughter and a scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of sound coming from here now, so it's pretty easy to orientate yourself, you know. And you will quickly come upon the scene of Otley picking up pages, 2 just having a great time, and the magistrate on her knees, clearly casting a spell.
Okay. If I can get to her and attack, I will. I'm worried more. I'm focusing more on like keeping her from casting the spell than necessarily I am like killing her or anything. But I do have a dagger. It's not like I'm gonna not hurt her with it. So let's see. That's a 2 out of 14, so he's a pass.
Okay.
And let's see. Hey, that's a 5. Do I add anything to it? I don't think so.
Okay.
No, it's us. That's a 6 damage.
6 damage. All right, nice. Okay, so you just trying to interrupt her, right?
That's basically it. Yeah, he's not necessarily striking for like vital organs, but more like this would really hurt, kind of.
Yeah, I think you give her like a really nice slash across the arm.
Yeah.
It's enough to distract her, but not kill her.
I like how you use the adjective "really nice," Susie.
It's a really nice one.
Slash across
Really
the arm.
nice.
You look at it, you're just like, man, that's just really nice,
It's
very
just
pleasant.
clean, you know. It's very precise. Okay, so you slice her arm, and I'm gonna say with that damage, and because I'm conscious of our time, which is rapidly running out, her spell is interrupted as she's attempting to cast it.
Okay.
Because again, cinematic.
Yeah, love it.
Sweet. All right. So this is gonna bring us to Tariq. What
First thing I want to do, just because I want to do it, I'm going to say that Tariq is now like in like adrenaline rush. Normally he thinks calmly about things, but like, oh my god, there's screaming and fire and the haka really like boiled into him, like you know. He's going to just drink that pearlescent unknown milky white potion.
Okay.
I just want to see what it'll do.
Oh boy. Let me find it.
And is that my full action, or because I want to try and do something else after that if I have time?
Well.
Let's see.
It's very presumptuous of you there, man.
Yep.
So there is a thing, an effect with this potion. Let me just.
I'm really excited. So much magic.
I know it.
Where is it?
You know what? Maybe I'm like, what happened? I'm fumbling for like something else. I just grabbed that and I'm like, oh, I just put down the first thing in my pack.
Okay, so you feel your body begin to change shape. And we're talking American Werewolf in London. Like, you feel the bones in your body sort of break and elongate. Your arms begin to shrink into your body as if
Oh my
you
god,
don't
I'm
have
turning
any.
into a snake!
Your skin becomes scaled as your head elongates into a snake's head, and you have become a snake,
A small snake or a big snake?
a human-sized snake.
Oh my god, yes! So much research I can write about this. What is the intellect fortress of a snake like? A participant observer account by Tariq Azan.
So, you are, mechanically speaking, now a snake for 10 minutes.
Wonderful. So that means I can I like slither and like try and get to the woman and like lunge at her or something?
If you, I would say the transformation, because like as per the book, this transformation is supposed to take a minute.
Okay.
But this is a spooky cult potion, so it
Yeah,
works
yeah.
faster. But that will be your turn. The drinking of the potion and the transformation into a
Perfect.
snake.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my god. Oh, to this big, I start hissing and whatever other noises snakes make, rattling, whatever, like really loudly in like an echo of the like intimidating cry that two just gave like a few minutes ago.
So you hear this, everyone else. You hear this echo of this cry that Tariq does, but it soon turns into a hiss as from that direction he has become a snake.
Oh my god! Yes, I'm so happy.
So,
that was very. I thought like, oh, I don't know, like either it'll mildly poison me or I'll gain like extra speed or something. I did not think I would transform into a snake.
You didn't announce to us that you were going to do that, though, either, did you?
did it.
Giant snake's gonna come out of the fog.
Oh God!
Oh, so two, you are up now.
Fight's over. The fog's gone. We're like, where the fuck's Tariq? That snake must have fucking eaten them. About the right size.
Yep, there was two of them.
Okay, so what Toe is going to do is he is going to do a forceful blow, which is an attack at -2 to hit, which does +2 damage.
Nice.
And he's going to try and sort out the magistrate lady. Gonna make her regret her life choices up until now. That'll hit, I believe. 10. Yep, target's 14, so that'll hit.
Nice.
And damage. Ooh, yes. That's 12 points of damage.
12?
Wow.
Because
So,
I rolled
hey.
a 6 + 4 + 2.
That was exactly the amount of hit points she has left. So I'm going to ask you, do you want to just knock her out, or are you going to kill her in this moment?
Ooh, I'm gonna leave. I'll roll a willpower. How about that? Because I think 2's full bloodlust at the moment. He's full. He's full. Just fucking.
There's also a self-control.
Okay, self-control.
Self-control, yeah, that's probably a good check to do.
Okay, 2's actually quite good at that. Yeah, that'll end up being a pass. I think yeah, he'd end up just smacking her with the back edge of the hatchet. So it's still a good blow. Really mess her up. Probably knock a few teeth out and all sorts. Not nice, but she'd be unconscious. She'd be out.
Nice. So you hear that connect, that sound of metal hitting flesh as you do a few teeth fly out. There's a like little spurt of blood, but she drops down unconscious on the ground. At this time, I'm gonna move us slowly out of initiative, fade us out of there as the cavern shakes dramatically, and that hiss grows louder and louder for a moment, as if this creature is about to rear up its face. And as you sort of as you brace and you feel this rumble, you can feel this looming presence. You can't quite see it. That fog is obscuring it, but just in that fog, you can see the shadow of a large sort of snake-like face that seems to peer in and look around, you know, and there's that tongue probing, because snakes use their tongues to feel
Right.
around.
They put it back in there, the nostril pits, right? To like,
So you can you almost feel it, you know, you feel that probing, that energy, the way the air changes as this great face looks down upon you all. But there's something strange about it, something not quite right. It's not fully formed, as
Right.
it were. It's almost like it was in its infancy. This ritual was here to fully manifest it, is a reasonable assumption that one could make, as this creature withdraws, and you hear that fang, you know, the wetness dripping from the fangs as it hisses once again before it withdraws its head, and the cavern shakes again as it descends once more into the depths, and the shaking quietens as it moves further away.
Okay, good, because I was like, oh my god, if it manifests, all I can do is try and seduce it in my like snake form. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. We can't fight this. I'm gonna try and like, but like, I'm a snake now. Maybe it'll find me tempting. You all run. I'll seduce it.
A snake pickup line is nice asp.
Oh yes. Oh my god, yes.
Waited 12 sessions for that.
I did. Nailed it. Okay, so you are currently in this cavern. It's fallen quiet again. As the snake has appeared to have left, maybe. Who knows? The magistrate is unconscious at Two's feet. Ortlieb is picking up pages from the book, and somewhere in the middle of the fog, there is a Tariq-sized snake slithering around.
I did right at the end, didn't I?
I'm looking around for Zimitara. Like if this I'm thinking maybe like if the cult leader had it on them, like they had to have it for a reason, right?
Yes. Okay. So as you look around, make me a perception.
Okay. Let's see.
Can I eat a cultist?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm like new to my snake body, so I'm like, I just eat a cultist.
I'm gonna spend a fate point to up that QL, so it's QL3.
Nice.
So as you look around, this dais, this stage that had been made for this presentation, just tucked into a sort of area of it that had been unoccupied by any cultists. You see a carrying chest, just a wooden chest, and inside it is Zimitara. And there's a couple of other things in here. There's some relics, like holy instruments from certain other temples that had been stolen. They're in here. There's some nice gems and stuff. There are a bunch of parchments that have bearing the seal of Hasinde on them. So this is just a chest full of stolen goodies that they were using or had perhaps intended to sacrifice to the snake.
Oh.
Well, Garion's gonna pick down, and he's like, "This is the amethyst lion, right? Like he's heard legends. This is like Excalibur for someone, This is his. He's heard legends of this since he was a kid, and he's gonna pick it up and look like, there's still fog all around us, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's
and
gonna
you can't see the princess probably, right?
Yeah, I can't see her, so he's just gonna have it. He's like, he lost his sword. He needs another.
Oh my god.
Hey, how many chances is he going to get to wear that
How many
sword,
chances is he
right?
going to get, right?
Yeah,
How many chances is he going to get? He figures he's only got a few minutes anyway. So, he brandishes it and waits for an enemy to appear.
Okay. And it feels great in your hands. Like, a quality blade. This is like above that. And it almost hums with an energy. As you draw it, you get that shing from the sheath.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it just seems to hum continually as you hold it, and you feel it like within your body. Like this is some
It's a sword of legend.
quality stuff. Okay, so I want to quickly resolve Tariq being a snake before we move into like and what did they do after they defeated the evil cult? Because we are very unfortunately coming up on time. So as you are here, I'm going to say the fog just begins to dissipate. With Tariq being a snake, he's no longer concentrating on the spell, so it falls. And you can see as you're gathered around, Garayan holding this thing, and Fariha is like, I'll be taking that.
Oh yeah, he does the whole flip it around, all and present it to her. Yeah.
And she holds it in reverence, but attaches it to her belt nonetheless. And she almost talks to it. You hear her just like telling it off for leaving her possession, almost as if it was sentient. Weirdly, though it's
I just royalty being weird.
Yeah. It's like, let's take you away from that terrible man right there.
No, you're home now. Don't pet. But you look over her shoulder and you see a human-sized snake with cultist feet sticking out of its mouth.
Oh God, yeah, behind you.
And no, I wiggle my tail in the same gesture as my wiggly fingers. To be like, it's me. Like, wiggle my tail.
Can I roll my intuition?
Please do.
All right, let's see. Here we go. It's a 15. It's my highest one. All right, that's a 3 out of 15. Is that Tariq?
Wiggle, wiggle, tail, wiggle.
He's making that weird thing again with his tail this time. He's wiggling.
He's not anywhere else, is he?
I don't
Is
see
there
him.
something about the way that snake looks at me? I feel fucking violated.
Oh yeah, I know that look.
Oh yeah.
I look into Garayan's eyes and I try and mime Fortress of Intellect with my tail. I don't know
Just
how good I
lock
am.
eyes with a snake. Just have a soul moment.
my countryman.
Oh yeah, I recognize that look. It's that gleam in his eye.
So Tariq, as you manage to finish consuming this cultist, and your snake body feels bloated and full, and you can all see that he has this like big lump in his snake body, which is obviously a person. You still have a few minutes left of being a snake.
Yeah.
I get to digesting, man.
I'm gonna try and sniff around to see if there's anything, because this cult had all these magical things and stuff. I mean, the book is the main one, which was destroyed, but is anything else? Anything interesting? Or should I just eat the woman? You know what? I'm gonna eat the woman, actually.
You're gonna eat the magistrate?
Whoa. No, hold on.
Because because I was really angry about the cult enslaving the persons, ghosts, and like they killed a whole village of people.
No. Two's not fucking no. Two will fight you.
Oh, so I slithered up to the woman, and Two says don't kill her or whatever.
Two's just like, get out, like the way you talk to a dog. Get out of it.
I'm like, oh,
right? Like he's sighing the fucking.
I like hiss away, but I search around, I like slither around to see that anything else interesting with my snake senses.
Okay, so you slither around.
My senses.
Your senses.
Senses, yeah.
You slither around, and you don't find anything else in this chamber. You get the idea that this was where things were brought to for express purpose of like throwing at the snake. So it eats it and consumes and devours this knowledge. But we're gonna do some wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah.
The magistrate is taken back to the surface. How do you guys resolve this? Do you hand her over to authorities, or what
to
happens?
the king? The princess is with us, right?
Straight up, like we have the princess. We go with the princess and have her tell everyone. That us, but especially Tuarangi to Kiowa, but all of us, but especially Tuarangi to Kiowa, captured this woman, and they're fucking heroes.
and like I would love Garayan and I to return the sword to the king, to the Shah, because like that's our king, right?
It
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you bring the magistrate to the surface. You are presented to the Maharani and the Shah, and Fariha backs you up the entire way. She corroborates your story. She speaks of how courageous you were in battle. She speaks of your wit, your fortitude, the intelligence that you had, and what you had achieved. And you are hailed as heroes. And in fact, the tourney on the final day is the final event, the grand joust, is held in your honor, and you were all feasted and celebrated on this final day.
Yeah, I'm still hungry, even though I ate the cultist, but I turned back, right? So,
The other thing which is very important for two to do, knowing that
Mhm.
Orleeb is going to make a lot of fucking money blackmailing people with that book, is he finds his page and he fucking burns it.
nice.
Ortlieb will give it to you willingly.
The rest of it,
Nice.
you can have it. Go on. There'll be
I'm
another
so-
cult in 2 years' time.
And with those matters resolved, I'd love that final scene of it being a grand feasting hall, and your names are cheered as drinks are held up to you, as people from all over the land, from all over every country, every land, every nation, hail you all as the heroes that you are.
Yay. Can we do a cutaway to Wolfgang's face at one point?
It's just assumed that's the triple X, like after Adventures in Aventuria after dark. But that is the end of our adventure here with these folks in the town of Havana, defeating the evil cult of the snake god. So thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all for joining us on this adventure, on this journey with our wonderful characters. For one last time, I'm going to go around and say goodbye to my friends here and thank them all for playing. So first up, Liam. Thank you so much for playing. Two was a fantastic character. I love him a lot. And yeah, you were kick-ass. Thank you so much, man.
No, thank you for running the game. It was truly excellent. I have had a lot of fun. I've been gushing a lot offline about how great this group is, but I want to say, like, you know, in front of the audience as well, that this has truly been one of the best actual play group I've ever played with, and one of the best groups I've played with. Period. It's a lot of fun. Playing a new game and having a great time was awesome. The adventures were awesome, and I really appreciated being able to indulge in all of my indigenous power fantasies and not once being told to shut up, Darky. So it's really nice. I appreciate it, and it's been good fun. Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter and all that sort of stuff. I'm pretty sure the links are around toatabletop.com and Mud and Bloodcast. But make sure you go and check out WebDM and go check out. Everyone here, go check out Ulysses Spiel, because they are the whole reason we're here playing this game. So yeah, support all of them, support everyone except for fascists. They can get fucked. Cheer.
Thank you, Liam. Emma, thank you so much for playing. I finally got to GM for you. Like, it was great.
Finally. It's been, yeah, I know. We've been playing together for like years at this point now, I think. And so I'm so happy that we got to do this. It's literally been a dream for me to play with all of you. Even though I'm married to Jim, we actually very rarely get to play together anymore. And I've been wanting to play with Sharong and Liam for such a long time, and I'm so glad that we did it. It was just as good as I knew it was going to be. I'm so happy you played this game. I really like the system. Thank you for Ulysses Spila for giving us the opportunity to do it. Please follow everybody here. Buy the things that they create if you have the means to, and in all other ways, please support all the people who play with us here. You can do that on the WebNM Plays Patreon, or just by, being aware of what we're doing. Thank you so much for everybody to be with us here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you again. And Sharon, it was great to meet you and play with you. It was an absolute joy and delight. Thank you so much for Tariq. He was such a good character.
Yay, thanks. No, that was really fun. I thought that was really cool, especially because a lot of the time, many of us were doing a lot of like improvisational, like random things like that weren't always covered by the rules. And I think this group really embraced that, which I thought was really it adds color. You know, it adds color. It was really really fun. I like that. I like just from things like let's sing a song with the sausage man, right? And like what does that do to us? To like in the end let me like burn that corpse and see if that harms the ghost. Like all those things. I thought that was so fun, and like how all of us I think fell into that, and so that was really cool. Yeah, thank you, audience. Thank you, Ulysses Spieler, for sponsoring us. Thank you, audience, for watching us. Because if we didn't have an audience, and support independent artists. They always need support, especially during isolation times, where many of our other sources of income are fewer. So yeah, do support independent artists if you can, and thank you for the support already in like watching us and stuff like that. So.
Thank you again. And Jim, I haven't ever played with you before, so this was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I'd just be repeating myself with everybody, but yes, it is a repeat. And what everybody else said, support your local creators, your independent creators. I really liked playing Gorion. For me, is like Mad Mardigan from the movie Willow is a big inspiration. Just like not like a steely-eyed, cold-blooded killer, but somebody who's just kind of, I don't know, fights and has fun and drinks and whatnot. So it's been really fun to play this. I love the way that you can express a character through the rules. With this game, it's like really cool, and how the skill rolls tell you a story based on like what your number is per the attribute and the QL. It's just really, really engaging. And I think for me, like a final little scene is maybe Tariq and Gorion like in the baggage train of the Maharani and the Shah on their way back to Arania going, I thought we were going to get a seat closer to the front. Like, where's Fariha at?
Lovely. Yes.
That is outstanding.
Yes.
Oh man, and thank you so much. As I said before, playing with these wonderful people has been a true delight. Thank you to Ulysses Spieler for putting this together, for letting us come and play the Dark Eye. It's a really, really fun system. I've loved GMing it. It's not at all an intimidating system to learn or play, and you really do find your rhythm with it very quickly and easily. So please do check it out. As for me, I'm going to echo everything these lovely people have said before. Please make sure you're following them all, supporting their work, and yeah. So thank you all again one last time, and maybe we'll see you again another day. Who knows? But take care, everyone.
Woo!
So I'm going to be back on with Jim in just a second. You can't see us yet. Hope you enjoyed the Dark Eye Adventures in Aventuria. Typically we would do the setup with software like vMix or something like that, but let's go ahead and get our game on. We will be calling Jim. Let me ping my good friend. And then we will go... Oh, you can see my face is split in two. Wait a second. You're not supposed to see me there yet. Alright. I apologize for that. Alright, let me send that over to Jim. It's my gym. I can cry if I want to. Oh my goodness. Let me turn on Jim's microphone when he gets here. Jim, the two of us need look no more. Hop into the Discord. We're actually not using Discord for the video conference there. He should be on. You shake and shake the Jim Davis. None will come except he'll save us. Alright, come on, Jim. Alright. Let me turn on camera 1. Turn on camera 2. Hey, it's Grant and Jim. We're back.
Hey.
So, a campaign in the books. We have finished another one here on WebDM Plays.
Yes. Well, just our trophy case has. There's your Knights Dark Agents, Knights Black Agents.
Mm-hmm.
And then our 2, yeah?
Yes, and so I think when we think about campaigns that have stuck the landing, meaning they sort of had the set finish, and we're not going to rate them all, but I was actually talking with Emma about it. It's like sometimes I finish a campaign, I feel like there's stuff still in the basement. It's like I needed a little more. But these 2 seasons ended successfully. They were limited series, and they finished as such. And Knights Black Agents had an ending. Breath of the Fall had an ending. And there's some where it's sort of we ended the campaigns, but I'm not sure if they had a true ending, as we might call it.
Certainly, there's a few I can think of. Certainly.
Yeah.
But Dark Eye is not one of those.
No, it had a legit, excellent ending. So, questions for you about the campaign. And we last left off talking about the general mechanics of the system. And for those of you still watching, you can watch this broadcast on Facebook through WebDM's page, on YouTube at WebDM Plays, as well as Twitch WebDM. I'm going to go ahead and circle a couple of links before Jim and I get into this, just by way of showing appreciation for our sponsors. This game was sponsored by Ulysses Spiele. They are one of the best game companies in the world, with nearly 40 years history of producing game content. So we're going to drop a link to them that'll cycle through all the distribution channels. Likewise, if you are interested in supporting the players of the campaign, I'm going to drop their socials in the chat as well. Make sure you hit them up on social media. I'm dropping their Twitter accounts. And lastly, this has been the Dark Eye Adventures in Aventuria. Excellent campaign. And how did you feel going into the last session, knowing that you're going to have roughly 2 hours to tie it all up?
Well, I was expecting like a big sort of finale kind of moment, but what I wasn't expecting was sort of like to take our time kind of getting there, to build up a bit of tension, and to give our characters a chance to kind of interact with the world a bit more before we got right to it. So it's kind of nice to have this sort of easy in and then ramp up to a nice cinematic finale.
Mm-hmm. And let's sort of talk about the system. If you were to run this game, having now played through an entire campaign, what are some aspects you would look for from the outset in your players? How would you advise them to approach the system?
Certainly with an open mind. I think that post 3.5 and 4E of the world's most popular fantasy role-playing game, have sort of left maybe a bad rep for crunch in sort of the wider gaming sphere. And while I find the Dark Eye crunchy and complex, it's accessible as well. And so I would look for in a player people who are willing to like dig into the system, not to optimize, but to find where their character is and to build the character they want to play. Because what I find interesting about being a GM for the Dark Eye is like, can I find a campaign where all of those skills that don't seem like they'd be quite like math, mechanics, treat soul, things like that. Like I want to run a campaign where those are central important skills. So that's the kind of campaign I'd run. Wait for the characters and then find a place for them in the world somewhere.
Yeah, and now leads me to think, and then having visited several of the locations in the world, were there any that resonated with you more than any of the others? Or if you were to, if Gorion was to go on another adventure, where would you like to see him end up?
Ooh, I think when I look at the map of Aventuria, I find either the far north or the far south the most interesting, like towards the bottom and upper edges of the map. I could see him being really miserable in the north, just like frozen, stiff, hating it, but still finding a way to have adventures and go on grand escapades up there, or like way to the south where he's a complete outsider and sort of has to navigate and make friends amongst the people.
And is there anything about the system that you think you'd want to convey to our audience watching beyond the satisfying crunch, the ability to explore a variety of characters, the innovative mechanical systems? Is there any broader scope you'd like to convey?
Yeah, I'd say, given most role players' entry into the hobby through the aforementioned most popular role-playing game,
you can't say D&D because Ulysses Spiele does the German translation of it. So
okay,
yeah, I'll throw that out there. Yeah, Robert Aducci was in chat before. I was like, it's not a dirty word. We do the translation. I was like, because I was like, well, that North American Seattle-based RPG,
right? Yeah.
Cipher system.
I'm not trying to give free press,
No, that's what I said. I said, hey, they ain't paying my lunches. They ain't buying my meals.
Right. So it creates a set of expectations, people that play D&D, right? It's sort of, in many ways, if you play it too long without branching out, it really narrows your perspective on what's possible in a role-playing game. I think this is where you get things like, it can only be about combat. So I think approaching it from a mindset of like, this might have the trappings of a fantasy RPG as you know it, but the gameplay assumptions, the way that you build characters and that you interact with the world through them isn't like that at all. It's really not. And to approach it on its own terms, I think that if you're thinking about giving this a shot, just like completely set aside what you think and approach the game as its own thing first. And then once you got it down, bring in your own preferences. Hack it up.
Are there any questions you'd want to throw at me? I got to play with you once, and then I ran a few sessions. I ran sessions for all sorts of different groups. I really liked the game that I ran for you and Liam.
Yeah.
I also liked the game that I ran for you.
I think that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like it really embodied the setting in a way. I think the question I have for you is, having seen our characters, having seen sort of the GM side of how NPCs are expressed or the world works, like, what do you think your first character would be that you make if you were going to play in a medium length Dark Eye game?
I go one of two directions. I either go church girl or sad boy. And it's going to be one or the other. Those are the two Granulus archetypes. And there's the third. There's the shenanigan canon.
Yeah, shenanigans.
So
Roll a d3.
Yes. So with me, I really liked. Goosewin was an original character. You know, she wasn't in a book, and I liked playing sort of a naive, although a bit pushy. In fact, I was talking with Emma in the Revelations from Heaven adventure, the one where the stone from the sky falls in the field, and there's all that. They say in the book, they're like, all the NPCs in the village, they're a little crappy. They're gonna rub the characters a wrong way, which is normal. They're just living in a backwoods town, and they're good. So I think what I would do though is I would probably go Blessed One. I would lean into the religion, and what I would do is I'd take my time and I'd go through the Gods of Aventuria source book and really pick a faith that I want to nail home. The other side of that is I think it might be like a swashbuckling member of the faith, though, where it's like Aramis from the Three Musketeers can fight with a sword, but he's also, has religious rank. So I think it's one of those things, too, where I also love the miracles that they can perform. Like that's like every Blessed One can do like the miracles of the 12. They have 12 blessings they can all do, one for each one, and it's like a cantrip, and it's just like, oh, I got to do all this fun stuff. But I think I'd lean in. I'd lean into one of the religions, and I'd play a Blessed One.
Yeah. Any particular of the gods?
Trave was pretty easy. I'd want to dig into some of the others. I'd probably go Scandalous and do something like Raja.
Yeah, it's like Raja or Fex would be one you'd have a lot of fun with.
Yeah, I would. That's the thing too. Like playing with the if I normally play a sad boy, a church girl, or a shenanigan canon, I could play all three. I could just roll them up. Be sort of like a thieving church member.
Down on
it belongs in a museum. Yeah, almost like an Indiana Jones. It belongs in a museum. I curse you.
Right.
The 12 plagues your house. Plagues for everyone.
I like that Dark Eye seems to take the religions of Aventuria seriously, in that it's not just like reskinned of the same archetype, and that each one feels very different from the other. It reminds me very much of like Warhammer in that respect, which I think it's the only way you can do like the medievalism of fantasy with like the weird polytheistic sort of religions that are characteristic of it. It's like they're all like really different. They might all have the same alliance with each other, but they practice their faith in very different ways.
Very, very different. And that's something I picked up reading it, is just all the political intrigue and friction between almost every faction, but specifically there is friction in the churches, both with each other and outside forces like magic. Now we are at time. We're going to throw a raid to our sponsor at Ulysses International. It should be Torque Tuesdays. I believe it's a thing, but let's jump on over there. And if there's no show on when we get there, have an excellent evening, everyone. Catch you next time. Bye.